Turn toward me and look so weak. I've never seen you with such tired eyes. And everything we said we'd be, we just traded for a suit coat and a tie. And underneath the rows of trees, I will see you where the ocean meets the sky. Your toes, fire grows. You are ready for a different kind of life. You're silent for the wind is cold. You must return to the wild. You're silent for the wind is cold. You must return to the wild. No one around. Lay back and take your socks and shoes right off. That natural light is so damn polite. Can make you feel just like you were young again. Standing underneath the rows of trees, I can see where the ocean meets the sky.
Going for the smoke walk. She's gonna go down. Watching with the AWP
position. Earthshaker's moving in as well. Echo Slam connects on to two. Back row tire down as well.
Red always wins the brawl. Or can we cast the curse in? Oh, there we go.
Lootbet.
It's amazing how much I love betting on esports. It's so cool. What's even better is when I can use Cash Out. Wait, you didn't know about Cash Out? Cash Out is when you can get your stake back even when your bet is going against you. Just one hit and your money is safe. So go to Lootbet to cash out now.
Hello folks and welcome back to more Lootbet action. Here we are of course in the Season 6 European qualifiers. It is a Friday afternoon and we're going to kick things off with some quality Counterstrike. It's Mustang Crew versus Singularity, and joining me along for the ride is going to be the wonderful Danny. Danny, how you feeling? You looking good?
Thanks for the introduction, Flakes. Yeah, it's not bad. It's definitely nice weather outside. Can't really go outside. Got some good cameras to look at, and yes, we're going to be versus Singularity. Both of these teams, we got to see them play yesterday. You guys played as well, and both of these squads have actually lost their best of 3 games. So Mustang Crew, remember, secrets, and now still fighting for the opportunity to qualify for the 6th season of Lootbet. But if they lose this best of 3, they're gonna lose it all.
It's pretty much do or die time for both of these teams, so I think it's going to be an interesting best of 3. And well, we're going to start the same way we started yesterday. It's going to be a Vertigo Mirage. So I'm expecting some shenanigans. I'm expecting some Deagle Eco Aces and all kinds of madness. If yesterday was anything to go by, these teams are going to be playing anything but your classic Counter-Strike. It's going to get messy. It's going to get real funky. We're going to find out who will be moving forward in Bet 76 right here in our
but I guess you could also look at it as kind of the beauty of this matchup is that it is so unpredictable in that sense. It's incredibly hard to say who is going to come out on top because in this matchup, you're definitely looking at, oh yeah, Singularity, they're a proper team. They seem to be by far the favorites heading into this one. But I'd say that Mustang Crew, you know, even though they got absolutely wrecked in terms of scoreline when they were playing against Blue Jays and Vertigo, they actually showed some good Counter-Strike there. I mean, there were some mistakes, absolutely, that is to be expected from a new roster, but they actually shown some good signs of some teamwork sprinkled in with some tactics. They're definitely out here to play, and I'm expecting them to perform better than what we saw yesterday on Vertigo. So let's kick it off here, folks. Singularity kicking things off here on the CT side, and Mustang Crew, they're back there, bread and butter, the T side.
Going to be looking for a fairly standard setup here from Singularity, just waiting for Mustang to make their choice and pretty much full commit to a site. It will be the ramp play, of course. They're going to build their way up to that B site. The push comes through, and well, there's first blood. Weird claiming they had accelerators. Gabby, Queenix both fight back, but it's a Mustang Crew victory here as they take control of B completely, taking Queenix in the backline. That is just the cherry on top. One man remains. It will be Mertz. Can he be the hero today as he's in a 1-on-3? It could not get tougher than this. First skill might be likely, but no, not going to happen. Weird will shut him down. Mustang Crew start strong in the first round here on Vertigo.
Yeah, a good way to kick things off, but it's also pretty simple. You can't say that was some kind of 200... It was basically, guys, let's just rush up the staircase, let's do it as fast as possible, overwhelm the bomb site, and there we go. They absolutely did so in flying colors, and they were able to win the piss around. Now, the real task, I'd say, is ahead of them. This round, this is where we see the purchase come out here from Singularity. The Mustang Crew need to be incredibly careful in their approach, because we have seen in the previous best of 3 when they played against Blue Jays, mistakes were plenty, and I do hope they were able to iron out some things. Looking back at the demo, probably they didn't do it, but I really hope they did, you know, are fully prepared heading into this matchup, and they're not going to be making too silly mistakes. And here, I'm liking it. Mid presence coming out, but look at how slowly and methodically they're moving in here, folks.
Or way to start it off. Mertz just looking at that slow and methodical movement and saying, how about that? Straight shot to the back of the head for Dozier.
Uh-oh. I'd be a little bit scared now if I'm honest. Losing one of your own is never a good sign. Wicked, though, moving very quickly here. He does have his teammates alongside him, so he does eventually commit. It's still not going to be too bad here. 4 players about to hit the safe bomb site. Singularity, you have a defensive setup. Let's see if it's going to be enough here with Scout and the pistols as the Mustang crew finally deploying their own smoke grenades, and it's time to commit. Still trade frags going on, which for a team like Mustang crew, that's simply not good enough. Bomb plant will it commence? Looks like it will. It does go down, and Mustang crew need to pull back and hold the line.
The saving grace here is going to be the smokes that allows the bomb plant to come in and then they can disappear off into the distance and now just try and hold off that retake from Singularity. Without those smokes, this round is a disaster, but they bought themselves a chance. Now they just have to execute on that. They just have to stop Singularity from going to get close to the site, and well, as the push comes through, so far so good. We do see some trade back and forth, but Eagle's not connecting. That's what you want to be seeing, but Accelerate, he's at it again with a scout on an absolute tear as he finds the head of Weird. That leaves one man now to finish him off, but there will be no time. Job secured. Mustang crew, they hold on, but by a very thin thread.
Yeah, mission accomplished, though. Second round picked up. As hefty as it might have been, that's the victory they needed. And the good thing is that that was a purchase that came out from the Singularity side. So losing some players here and there is understandable. It is incredibly difficult to have those rounds as clean as possible without losing a single player. In the case of Mustang crew, well, the problem is that 4 individuals died. That is a bit more problematic, but again, saving grace is this round. This is where Singularity don't really have much to work with. We can look at Celebrate Scout, some P250s on the side of Singularity, and that's about it. The Mustang crew should have no difficulties overwhelming these pistol players, but you better be safe and sorry in this situation if you're a Mustang crew. Again, careful in your approach, because we can already see Weird has been knocked out. Just 29 points of health. That's a very nice dunk nade coming in. Dosi and Co. get the job done.
It's just about being smart at this point. If you're Mustang crew, you have such a clear upper hand when it comes to firepower that you just have to approach this one with basically team play being the problem. You don't need to be a hero. You just have to work in together and not take these solo duels. Do not allow P250s to just wide swing you here and there and take these one-on-ones, because as you start doing that, the P250s get reinforcements and you don't, and that leads to a bit of a slippery slope. Like in this case, we did get a couple of those rough ones, but thankfully, Singularity have been able to hold on to a couple of good kills. Close to holding on to the rifle there, but they couldn't quite get to keep it in the end. But at least it's 3-0. I mean, I was kind of glossing over how hectic it was getting, but it seemed like at least they had the bomb in a sensible position. It wasn't all bad.
I mean, they did win the round. That's the most important part, but there's no denying it. These 2 rounds have been way too costly.
They've been scrappy. I mean, you look at that round there, I referenced the whole P250 situation. That is quite literally what was happening. They were taking one-on-ones, heck, they were even taking one-on-twos against these P250s, and even at close range, if it's just a P250, don't discount it. It will rip your head off and spit you right back out again.
That's a good shot, though. Weird. Open things up here towards yellow. There's one player out there, Mustang. See, let's see off the minimap. The players have spread out relatively thin. You know, they're fighting for map control on different parts of the map, but the majority of the players are still towards A round. Final hit here for the Mustang crew, but we'll have to wait and see if that's really the decision they want to go for. It does make sense though. This is part of the map where we found the opening kill, so the defensive should be weakened here, but that's not entirely the case. Now we have 2 players on the A-bomb site, the 3rd man coming in with rotation, and I believe, yeah, Mertz is also here, so basically, we have the full man, 4-man roster for Singularity at this position. So Mustang crew, if they really want to go for the offensive right now, they gotta be very swift about it. Weird misses the shot, and a double peek is just way too strong. Mustang crew, they really gotta hurry up right now. Omega in pretty good position. Oh, but there's one player going down. Celebrate behind the site. Lasweka looking for the kill, gets it. That's good for Lasweka, but he's still low on HP. Mertz is gonna get him. That's a victory here for Singularity, and I gotta admit though, Mustang crew, it was the 4-man hit on the bomb site, but it wasn't as concise as it should have been. You know, it was basically one player peeking out after another. If that would have been like a full-on proper commitment, I'm sure Mustang crew has better success. But the problem is Singularity, very good positioning from their part as well.
come so far, and look at how quickly they've fallen. Unfortunately, just not able to build up their money that far. It puts them on this full eco hit. But hey, they can rocket when they box out towards that B site, see what they can find. Opportunity or two. The MVP is hungry though. Money to be made of it. Remember those SMGs.
What? I'm sorry? What is going on in this round?
Glocks, man.
Glocks? Yeah, please. I can hear it in my... Oh, okay, there you go. The madness has stopped because I thought if that round somehow goes in favor of Mustang Crew, I would have lost it. I mean,
It's the repeat of that second round that we saw, where it was really scrappy. It came down to like a 2-on-2, and then normality comes back into play and the SMGs get it done. It's the exact same thing where early on, those scrappy duels, you're giving the pistols opportunities to beat you out there, and you don't really want to take them. So we'd like to see perhaps a little bit more structured play in these anti-eco rounds. And that goes to both sides, to be honest.
yeah, I agree. Because in the previous round, I mean, you are the CT side. You don't even have to go for that kind of aggression. At least understand Mustang Crew's position. You know, they're the T side. They're the ones that gotta commit. Gotta check so many different angles. So it's a bit more difficult from their part. But if you're a Singularity, if you're playing aggressive towards B stairs, may not be the most optimal play to make. Speaking about aggressive plays, this is very nice. Singularity taking a very deep positioning over the A bomb site. The problem is, one of the players that drops is on B side. This might prompt the players from Mustang Crew to move on in. Smoke grenades plenty. They check the corners, they get the frags. This is perfect for them. They've absolutely decimated the B side defensive, which allows them to plant the bomb and the two players from Singularity. I mean, what more can they do in this position? You got Sildred and Yappy, who were in some fine positioning just 20-ish seconds ago, but here, they're just not in the prime spot to do anything.
You just immediately call the save now, and I think the tough piece of stomach about that round is it's not like Singularity were in bad positions, per se. They were in good spots, they were sat in smokes and whatnot. Mustang Crew just hard swung the corners, checked everything, and they also just pre-fired the hell out of the smokes. Both of those kills were found through either the center of smokes or right in the edge of smokes. So it just gives you a sense of Mustang know exactly where they need to be looking on these takes. And it's just unfortunate for Singularity that's how it plays out.
Well, that is not the best start right now for Singularity. Even though that was a pretty nice setup in the previous round, it didn't really win them the round. However, still have enough money to pull off the investment here, so we do see the M4s come out, the SMGs. In terms of weaponry, it may not be looking that great, but what they do have on their side is the development utility. I gotta give props to them that they've opted to invest more into the utility department to get the smoke needs, those Molotovs and cheap rates, rather than better weaponry, because still, utility can be utmost important in this case. And we can actually see the same attempt we saw from Singularity in the previous round, acquiring presence towards a ramp. Now they got full control here, so they don't really need free players. They can in fact either leave one or two individuals. So the third man is rotating away from the A bomb side to either help out relieving the pressure from the A side, or pardon me, from the B side or middle. Let's see where he's going to position right now.
Got to be a matter of patience here for Mustang, though. You have the upper hand right now. Able to grab an early bit of map control here as they peek and bob towards this B site. Seemingly decided to regroup their forces here, though, and actually head towards round. And that come back to fight here is such a solid position from Celerate. He does get traded, but despite the trade frag, that's still 2 for 1. That's a bargain bucket deal, if you ask me. 30 seconds. They're forced into this A play. They're forced into running the gauntlet against Singularity, as they know exactly where Mustang are coming from. There's only really 2 ways onto this A site. It's going to come through ramp or through the back lines, both of which will be contested by these MP9s, but it's the bread and butter of this T side now. That smoke executed play. Forcing the duels, 1 for 1 so far. Tabiz becoming the man of the hour here, but he's completely shut down. That leaves it all on Yappy. Bobs up, finds one, makes it to a second, gets the bomb planter as well. Lovely jubbly, he gets it done. 4 to 3.
well that this is the round where the Singularity setup that was attempted in the previous one finally works out for them. They boost the player on top of the box. You can just hold that position because it's, first of all, an off angle, and second of all, if the Mustang Crew players do eventually want to commit towards the A-bomb side, chances are he might even spot out someone like the bomb character. So that was some very good positioning from the Singularity player. He finds 2 kills, and because there's so little time left in the clock, well, Mustang Crew just have to commit on the A-bomb side. They commit, they simply can't make it work. So props to Singularity for achieving victory, and an important victory as well. This is where there's only pistols for the Mustang Crew, really not mustering much of any weaponry. Let's see, flashbang deployed, Tobias. Does he really want to go for the engagements here? Probably not. Long range SMG MP9, not the best choice.
Looks like they can step the thundering chance of Mustang as they come growling out on towards the B side. The AWP close range, not the one you expect to work, but Murta's putting on an absolute class show right now. Finally taken down at the end, but fair play to him actually. He's done a bloody good job there considering he was almost the first line of defense with the AWP. Look at him go here, makes it to 1, flips back to the left hand side, realizes someone's gone a full acrobatic on him and whips out the USP.
Perfect shooting. Can't really add anything more to that. That is some fine shooting. Let's see though, Singularity right now starting to build up some kind of momentum. I guess you could say a few rounds in a row going in their favor. We do see purchase come out here from Mustang Crew, but due to the lack of utility, they can't really blame them for change the pace or the Molotov. They gotta run through it. Hachi do! Oh boy.
Oh man. That is, you can't be doing that. That is not the one to. Yeah, he's had better days. I feel like he knew what was happening as well when he got to the right. He sort of, when you know you're about to do something and then you do it anyway and it just doesn't click. Gonna be kicking himself after that one.
Still holding down. That should be a possibility. Of course, if the smoke takes 3 begin to fade, which they're doing right now. His part, oh, he doesn't look at the left-hand side. That's the problem, though, is if you cross the street, gotta look both ways. And Weird, alongside Lasweka, far back, that's how you want to go about it. But the problem is, they can't really support one another. Lasweka has been switched off. That leaves it all up to Weird. His position, compromised. This is where Lasweka needs to move on in, start making the plays. He sees the player. Oh, no, he doesn't. And then Weird has to peek out, and Singularity play that one to perfection. Very good way to go on for the retake here. They even had some grenades remaining in their possession. Throw them out, block off the vision of the Mustang Crew, and I guess this is a replay of Hachi. Yeah, he was blinded with a flashbang. Unlucky.
Definitely not an ideal scenario, but oh well. You win some, you lose some, right? That is what happens. So you're gonna have to try and build their way back into this game after allowing Singularity to get ahead here. At least weaponry won't be all that bad. It's not going to be Glocks galore. Instead, it will be some Deagles. And heck, we're throwing back to 2008. The Tech 9's in play.
The Tech 9. Let's see if we can get anything done here. Oh, that is some nice nade usage coming out from Singularity. I've seen that both sides have been really abusing that position. You know, we've seen Dozy and Co. chucking in grenades over the B-bomb site, but now Singularity, because they also have money, they have utility, they can also retaliate with their own carpet bombing. Can't say that has been too lethal. Dozia, still very much alive, both legs intact. And he's also got that Deagle to work with, and Mustang Crew, slowly but surely, but moving up the staircase. Now one from Singularity will really be able to spot him out that quickly, and if they punish the guy on the side, which they absolutely do, this suddenly becomes a bomb plant for Mustang Crew. Yes, they don't have the weaponry to work with. Not all players have armor, but they suddenly got a chance. And we even see another kill coming through. Singularity, though, this is not the round you want to lose. They can still go for the retake, but now they must be extremely careful because not all players are in position. Like Yabi, for example, he needs to kill 2 players on these stairs. That's difficult. They really got to move on in, but time is ticking, and Singularity is more than aware of it. Looks like they're not going to go for it. 10 seconds. It's going to have to be the save for the Danes.
How is it? It's always the rounds that Mustang come into it with kind of a bit of a slapdash buy, or not even a buy, it's Tech 9s and Deagles. And those are the rounds that they feel like they just absolutely annihilate multiple teams at now. We saw the same thing yesterday as well. Despite them losing the game, their great successes were in those scenarios where they went into it on the back foot.
I guess that's the quality of Mustang games, if you can call it. We've seen them time and time again succeeding with those pistols. Thomas, though, he is being overrun, but I'm surprised that we didn't see a peek earlier. There we go, it takes place, but Mertz is there to back up Thomas, so to say this is a disjointed push would be an understatement, because I have no idea what's going on right now. We saw two players peeking out here, Josie still lingering around, Lasweka going down. This is not the start you're looking for if you're a Mustang crew. This is turning out to be a horrendous round for them.
It's the classic Mustang crew effect. They've got a full buy, therefore it crumbles to pieces. If they should just half buy into every round, that's just the strategy at this point, because that's where they have their success. I jest, but if you look at the rounds they've been most successful in this game and also in yesterday's matchup as well, it does come down to when are they going for more of that scrappy, audacious play. When they get into these full buys, it's almost like they are trying to kind of get back into that strategy, that hard-formed default, and they lose a little bit of that audaciousness. And I think that whatever it is they're trying to do, perhaps it's too structured, perhaps it just needs time for them to really settle in and get comfortable with the new system, new team and all. It's clearly not working, or at least on Vertigo, they're struggling. It is Vertigo, so I mean, I'm not going to hold it against them, to be honest. It's not exactly the map of Counterstrike that's our favourite, but, well, it is what it is. Let's see if they can claw this back, perhaps. The final 10 seconds, who knows what Fabi can get up to, maybe. Surviving with the Krieg would be the best objective here for him, and I feel like at least be able to get that done, as it looks like he'll be last man standing.
But as silly as it sounds, the thing you were talking about, the pistols, that's just how it is at times, When you're on a eco run, when you only have the pistols, you got some Kevlar sprinkled in, maybe a few flashbangs here and there. That's when you're going to be going, just like you said, for the audacious play, moving up slowly on B's staircase. That is not the type of play you're going to be doing on a gun round, because on a gun round, you're going to be extremely careful. There could be an operative on the other side. There could be someone already ready and waiting for a Molotov to just chuck it in and stop the offense from ever taking place. But in a pistol round like this is where Mustang crew couldn't really change things up. That's when they gone for the push. That's when they punished the one player on the B bomb site and successfully won the round. Previously, though, once they finally did have those rifles at play, they were incredibly disjointed when it came down to take over mid control. Now, I hope this scenario will be a little bit different. What are the key factors? Weird. He's got the AWP by his side, and we can see that he is being as precise as a turret, clearing out the angles, making sure there's not a player here or there. So this is quite nice from Weird's part. The problem is, though, I think the CTs are more than aware of what the terrorists are up to. Good nade, though. Damage being dealt.
Yabby getting a great quick pick on towards the Lasweka. Weird stats, clearly so crucial here. Just a critical piece of the round. Will they ever disappear? That is the question. Perhaps it's foreshadowing the fact that Mustang definitely needs some entry picks here, but maybe Weird can show us some of that magic. Gets to shuffle his way out on towards the A site. No real opportunity to back off towards B here now. They are committed. Estozia slips one in on towards Gabby. So far, so good. Weird does find an entry kill, so kills up to 4 now from 3. Queen Extend gets in for a quick double, though, and that's where things get a tad more complex. Here comes Dozier, last man standing. Not going to happen. He'll be shut down. Mustang crew dropping another to the CT side of Singularity.
Yeah, but eventually, you cannot deny that Singularity had a very good rebound situation. Even though it almost allowed the players of Mustang Crew just sneak past them, they had a very good grip in that situation. I really like one of the players positioning there from Singularity behind sandbags. Such a good spot to play in. Chances are you're probably not going to check it if there is anyone coming from ramp, but in his case, because they still got to plant the bomb, he was in a prime position to deal damage from it. Well, Singularity, it goes to show. 7th round has been picked up. Mustang Crew, though, back with the pistols. Let's see if we're going to see any more of those shenanigans that we've seen in the past, or are they going to take this one a little bit slower? I already see more than a few individuals there trying to move up here through the smoke. Fabi looking for some kind of angle, some kind of opportunity, but not going to find anything as of yet. We do see a huge cluster of players towards the B staircase. I mean, this is where they found some success earlier, and that is a very nice angle from the Greetings. I've never seen it used before.
Yeah, I actually really like this. It's a shame he got mollied out of position. That makes things a little more awkward for him, as they do now have to deal with the pretty courageous defense here of Singularity. Warp in position. Ooh, Lazeka putting in the work with a deagle, but only good for one, as he will be quickly traded back for Tech9. Makes a good go of it, but not going to happen today. Mustang, they are shut down. They went for a bit of an execute play on towards B there, and everything was actually pretty good. It's just, unfortunately, they were a little too late on actually biting the bullet there. Singularity were able to rotate the majority of their players over, and the defense was just so damn strong. Result, 8-5. Mustang, one of their real last opportunities to show us what they can do on a full buy here. All the utility, all the trimmings, they've got the rifles, everything. Zero excuses to not see that prestige brain of Dozier come into play here.
The speed of Lazeka and Haji. These two moving in very quickly, very rapidly to fight for this map control early on. The problem is, Lazeka gets caught out. He goes down to the wall bank of Accelerate, whereas Mustang Crew, though, that actually prompt them to slow down quite a bit. Initially, I thought it's just going to be a straight-up commitment on the bomb side. It looked up the crowds, but now with a loss, or that kill, this could actually change things out quite significantly. Very good kill coming in from Fabi. The problem is, whenever you're going for that kind of spray for the plywood, never expect that you're going to be bulletproof. Oh, there we go. Queenix actually also finds a very good scalp and retreats. Now, Mustang Crew, this is the problem. They're being inserted in from all sides.
Again, it's a speed thing, right? They've kind of got the first piece of the execute down, the utility then out, and then actually transition onto the site is where they've really struggled. Do trade 1 for 1 in the end here, finding a crucial pick on towards Dozier. That leaves just Queenix, Tibiz, and Mertz to retake in now. And what's interesting is Queenix was still over on B, only just rotating over now, so that does buy Mustang a bit of opportunity. The Singularity opts to wait and attack this one as a trio, using the advantage to their side. I mean, it is a 3-on-2 when you look at it, quite black and white. Gotta get moving though. Baiting the defuse. First kill so good. That leaves just Fabi. Finished off by Queenix as well. And job done for Singularity. It'll be close, but quick defuse to push it over the line. Singularity advancing on their CT side. A clear-cut victory at this point. 9-5. Perhaps they can take it double digits.
Possible in this situation, considering the previous round. An L for the Mustang. They will still have to go for the investment here. One way or the other is, after all, the very last round of the first half, but it's not great, really. You do have some weaponry on their side, that's the one good thing. Smoke grenades as well, very nice to have those, but they are lacking in some other utilities. Fabi, though, that is quite the aggressive push to make through such smoke grenade, but at the very least, he has not been punished, and probably won't be anytime soon. Oh, there's a couple of grenades coming in. Fabi ducks and goes into cover. Turtles up, and probably waits for his teammates to join him and try to fight for B stairs controllables, because Singularity can't try this position. Oh, that's such a powerful grenade being thrown down by Mertz. He gets a kill and instantly considers the back away. This is perfect. Whoa, no scope coming in. Very ballsy attempt there, Mert. Oh, this is good right now. He is doing some fine shooting as Mustang Crew try to gun down this player. They're faltering, they're falling one by one. They gotta group up and eliminate the player, but we can see there's confusion amidst the ranks of Mustang Crew. What must they do next? Will they face the offer? Looks like they will, and they will be punished. Lazweka, last man standing, looking for 5, now for 4, but it's not meant to be. Singularity, the prediction is true, Flakes. They have reached those double digits.
If I was a betting man, I'd be feeling pretty confident about Singularity going to the second half. And well, folks at home, if you're betting people, you know where you should head? Lootbet. Go get involved, of course, in all the action. There are some wonderful coupon codes and whatnot available through the chat, through the banners, through all of the things. So do go get involved, of course, and the wonderful sponsors of this event. This, of course, is Lootbet Season 6 and our European Closed Qualifier action. Only one of these teams will be able to make it through their last chance saloon to get into what will be $50,000 of prize money on the line. It's a pretty fun event, isn't it, Danny? We've done it a few times now. I feel like you've been doing it since, I want to say, Season 3. So it's been good fun.
I think so. Yeah, I believe it was. Since games going on here, and I hope you guys are having a great time watching some Counterstrike between Singularity and Mustang Crew. So let's get to the spot here, folks. Second half is upon us. We're gonna be the T side. Oh, what is going on here? It's a bit of a slaughter. There's the USPs going ham, finding those kills and eliminating 3 Danish players, whereas Singularity, this is a little bit frustrating for them. So early and so many players dead.
I feel like they were blocking each other there.
It felt like it, didn't it?
It didn't really look like they were, like... If I watch that back and I don't look at the score or the round time or anything, I think that's not live, because it kind of looked like they were just sprinting knife out around the corner and basically oblivious to what was to come.
They're not out of this one just yet, though. Even though it's only 2 players alive. Ooh, not bad. Not bad there, Kreenix. Fine shooting. There we go. That's what I'm talking about. They're not out of this one just yet. The players from Mustang Crew are relatively far apart from one another, which means that Singularity, if they double up on their opponents, they can still win some of these aim duels. Now, for me, the biggest question is, which bomb site will they choose? There's the smoke, so it's pretty obvious where they're going for, but they are moving in towards the A bomb site. Who's going to come in first? Probably Lazweka, I'd like to say. We'll see, though. Bomb will be planted here from the Singularity side. They still got to be a little bit careful of who is close. And we see Dozia, who's got vision over the bomb side. Is he going to go in for the fights here? Looks like he will. 20 so seconds remaining. Singularity punching in those digits. And now Mustang Crew moving in. We got Fabi with a kill and Fabi with the second one. That's going to be it for this round, ladies and gentlemen. Mustang Crew, they succeed on the first pistol round. And I got to admit, that was some fine shooting from their part.
That was point-and-click execution, wasn't it? Fabi just rolling into the site, getting it done. 2 shots, 2 kills. Does not get better than that. But they have to hold on to it. That's going to be the main thing that we look for now in the second half is, great, you've got the pistol round. That's kind of like running the first 10 minutes of a marathon. There is many more hours to come of pain that they're going to have to work their way through. A 4-round deficit is just the start. 6 more to get it over the line. And a CT side on Vertigo that has yet to be tested. And if yesterday's anything to go by, we could see some interesting stuff here, let's put it lightly. So, time will tell. Now's a better chance to see. Round 17, of course, 10-6. The weaponry in play, not too scrappy for the CT side. I mean, a few SMGs and whatnot. They have the AWP on Weird as well, who's been a crucial part of the CT side success for Mustang. So, hopefully, we'll see a little bit more of that today.
Oh, I'm personally not a big fan of seeing the AWP purchases so early, especially in the case of, well, he's gone. He's gone now. What is going on here? We see some kind of boost here from the Singularity side. Ooh, that's so sick. That's so good. Queenix now moving in, looking for scalps to take as Singularity will begin to overwhelm the B-bomb side. Doza, UMP in hand. You better make those bullets count because Queenix on the side will make sure you go down. There we go. Another kill for Singularity, and now this is looking like absolutely their round to take. But gee, that's only attack for the legs. That's a quick round of CS, ladies and gentlemen. Singularity overwhelming the defensive of Mustang Crew, and wow.
That was a masterclass in positioning. I mean, that boost was so tactful. Really nicely stuff from Singularity, and also the first time and the best time to pull those things out of the hat and go, okay, we'll try something new here, we'll catch them off, and we'll use that to get our foot in the door. Now they just have to build from it, and, well, if all goes to plan, this is their opportunity now to run away and get the W here quick and easy. If you think about it, these are the sorts of scenarios where this game goes from 11-6 to 13-6, 14-6 quite comfortably, given that it's only pistols in play here. The next buy, it potentially doesn't go their way, and you can see just how quickly of a domino effect this can be.
Yes, indeed, because this is the latter stages of this map. Here, because it's the second half, Mustang Crew don't have a lot to play with. That's why they decide to go for the force play here. They decide to challenge the opponents in the middle, and we can see they've been punished because of it. Fabi has recovered an AK-47 for his troubles, but the problem is, though, it's 1 versus 3. Bomb is already down, he has no defuse key to work with, so he has to just go for the save. The next round, yeah, it's probably going to be just a simple eco, which could prompt Singularity to be sitting on 13 rounds. Just like I said, the domino effect. If Mustang Crew don't pull it together now, this could be an abrupt end on the first map. And yeah, as you guys can see underneath the minimap, you can see which one of the teams has picked this map. In this case, this has been the pick of Mustang Crew. So far, not a very good showing from the Russians.
That said, I think a lot of people were expecting Singularity to, I mean, let's be frank, wipe the floor with Mustang Crew, to be honest, because they should have the foundations and the foundations as a team. And also, I think there will be an argument here that potentially they have the raw talent on the roster as well to trump a roster like Mustang Crew, who, yes, they've got some incredibly smart minds and some fraggers there as well, but this is a brand new system for them. And that takes time to build.
That's true. It definitely is a timely process to be building a squad. And in the case of Mustang Crew that was assembled not that long ago, it's no wonder they're being pummeled by some of these teams. And for my part, I was actually hoping them to perform a little bit better here in Vertigo. Well, actually perform better here than what we saw yesterday, but this could be a very similar scoreline. But I'll hold the thought for now, because Fabi, he's got something to say about it. First frag with AK-47, Weird coming in with P-50, swinging around, looking for frags. Gets the one. There's some damage being dealt on the side of Singularity, so this is definitely not as clean as it possibly can be. And Mustang Crew, even though it's just 30 seconds remaining on the clock, will it be the save? Yes, I suppose. I guess the players are still contemplating of what should they do, because keeping on to the AK-47s definitely makes a lot of sense. And that seems to be part of the game plan. Dozido sticking around, looking for frags, but no, this will definitely be the end of this round. Fabi and Lazweka will keep on to their rifles, keep the AK-47s for the next round, and absolutely, it's now going to be 13 for Singularity.
The smart thing about Singularity is they're not taking any risks here. They're not bringing AWPs into these rounds. We noticed they actually left one in the previous round. They're just going 5 rifles, taking the site together. It's just about that team play, right? Knowing, okay, we're going to be up against pistols that are going to dive us through smokes. I mean, that's Vertigo in a nutshell, right? When you do an execute on towards A site, typically what you're going to see is a P250 just peeking out through that center site smoke. So just being able to deal with that when you have 3 AKs on the site holding it down, trading in case anything doesn't quite go your way, it's just, those are the basics you need, and Singularity are doing them very well. So looking like a comfortable start to the second half of them at least, and, well, comfort the aim of the game there. Queenix walks away on 7 HP, but one frag richer.
That's a very good trade. He'll take that one. Losing some HP for a kill, that is still a good situation for the Singularity players. Now, I do see some mid-control, some mid-congestion coming in from Singularity, but they're yet to fully acquire it. I see a couple individuals here. Ooh, Doja's got to be extremely careful here because this fight is always very tricky for both sides, the player underneath and the player above. Maybe a slight advantage from the player above. Doja, does he see it very quickly enough? Yes, he does. He begins to go in for the engagement and does some significant damage on Tobis. No kill, however, and the stalemate basically remains the same. It's a 5 versus 3, and Singularity are yet to make their way on one of the bomb sites.
Patience seemingly the aim of the game here, and that'll come back to bite them as Lazeka swings out nice and away, goes for the transfer, gets 2 in the bag, not quite the third, but safe to say, job done for him. Now just relying on the rest of his team to step up to the plate here. Singularity go for a quick sprint towards the B site to Biz in position, and they've just not checked for him. That's a complete disaster. Yabi finds Hutchie as well, and this goes from being a Mustang round to it's all on Weird. A tough round for him to make stick, but he's going with your center sight. Not gonna happen. What a complete disaster. Lazeka goes huge to try and open up a round, and his team just completely fumble, oblivious to the position of Tabiz. Absolute disaster.
Yeah, that was a very good positioning by Tamiz at generators. Able to find those few kills, utmost important for Singularity to still remain in that round, because the problem is the individuals from Singularity's side were quite low HP. It looked somewhat doable for Mustang Crew to pull out the W, but eventually they just couldn't make it work. And the domino effect taking full control right now. Mustang Crew, yet the opening kill goes in their favor. Hutchie finds the scalp of Yabi. 4-on-4 ensues, but we can still see that this is not a very favorable position here for Mustang Crew. Players that are ill equipped need to face the powerful and dangerous Danes, who are now deploying their smoke grenades, their grenades on the B-bomb site. But Weird is recording 47. Oh, okay, nice jump shot attempt, but Weird going for the spray is rewarded with a kill. So Singularity, you can see that there are, wow, they're actually losing another player here. The bomb, it has been dropped. They need to retrieve it desperately.
Maybe make something stick with the SMG, but oof, cutting it very fine there. Weird will in the end eke it out ahead, but right down to the wire. Seems like there's a key theme in who apparently is the spotlight player of this match, and well, I can tell it's definitely not Mertz. He's clearly not been getting the most kills, entries, AWP kills. Definitely not the most valuable player.
I'd have to go with something like Doja. Doja's been my MVP in heart and in game, but clearly not Mertz. What is clear though, this is going to be an early engagement between the two teams. So much damage being exchanged already, but the kill feed is turning blue. Mustang Crew finding the kills. Singularity have been bogged down, but we can see why. The smoke grenades finally chime in, and that forces the players into retreat. What's next on their agenda? Be to try and prompt some kills here at the B-bomb site. Phoenix does spot out the player. He's going to move on in very quickly because the remaining players are still on the bomb site. Queenix, that's a massive frag to find. This will allow the Singularity team to actually get on the bomb site, plant the bomb, and Mustang Crew still need to get at least close by the B-bomb site because the rotations are very, very slow.
This is the thing, is they're out there pushing A site while Singularity just got a pick on B. It's like, boys, we've established that you've pushed A. Get those running shoes on and get yourself to B. The bomb's going down. The rotations are so slow. And now with 20 seconds remaining, they've finally got the utility out and began their retake attempt. Smoke, mollies and whatnot. But they're giving themselves, 13 seconds to find every pick and get on the defuse. It's going to be bloody tight. First 2 kills come through. They just make it stick by a second. A second is what gets them over the line here.
My oh my.
They should be bloody lucky they make that stick, because one single of those kills doesn't go their way, they lose that round.
Yeah.
And they don't give themselves any time to get the win because they take so long. I mean, credit to them. I don't want to discredit them for the fact that they got the W there, because they did, and bloody good job to them. They found the picks they needed to find, and the execute is good. I just wish they did it 3-4 seconds earlier rather than focusing on pushing up through A so much, because that over-aggression into the A site isn't giving them information of what's coming towards B. Otherwise, they would be rotating.
Weird, very weird shooting, and actually goes in for second. Even though he does have a teammate in forms of backup. It doesn't look like Fabi needs to do that much because Weird, he's getting all the entry frags. Perfect way to kick things off for your Mustang crew. 3 quick kills and Singularity. Not much of a response. 2 players alive. That's all they have to work with right now. And yet, the problem is the bomb as well. Not in their possession. They need to recover it first and foremost. And this is just not looking good. Mustang crew. This is looking a bit scary here for Singularity, I'd say. You know, that was a very confident showing there by Weird, the operator that we've seen him pick up the big green time and time again, but I can't really see he's been too impactful. But this is superb.
Yeah, that was just weird. I think deciding, you know what, I'm gonna grab the backpack here and do something audacious. Decides to go for the aggressive play down B and plays it to a T. He lands every single shot that he needs to land there and opens up 3 quick kills. On a buy round, that is basically single-handedly handing the victories to his team, so Mustang crew definitely not going to be complaining at that one, but they need the consistency if they want to really step up and beat him. Of course, Weird to finish it off. A quad kill in the end. What a round.
What a round indeed. There you go. We can see some of the players from Mustang crew firing off right now. You know, they're getting a bit more confident and they're going to be positioned to reach double digits. Singularity, what can they do? Nothing much. Just face destiny. Blocks for the majority of the players. Some opted to get those P250s out, and that's about it. So yeah, this is a good opportunity as any for Mustang crew to begin to minimize the scoreline difference. Just easily. Stozia sees plenty of players trying to push him down. There's Molotov, and there's bullets whizzing through the heads of these Singularity players, and they will be taken care of. Mustang crew, that's their 10th. Still just 4 more rounds to equalize the score.
Dozier to see what he can maybe achieve there, and as he lets it rip. I mean, what's not to love? Reminiscent of the old days when you watched Dozier get the triple kill spray downs, right?
Those are nice.
And think about it, he has such rich history in Counterstrike, doesn't he? You just look back to some of the greatest moments we've seen from him. Not just even Global Offensive, but just in the past. I mean, he's a walking Counter-Strike history book.
A beautiful man as well. That's not to love.
He's a very unique personality. The content is just... I still love the Mustang Crew video. If you haven't seen it, folks, go check out the Mustang Crew announcement. That is 10 out of 10.
It's got some solutions for perfect way to cement it. Video. Very nice stuff. And speaking of nice stuff, Mark's finally moving in here in position to look for the early engagement, and he gets it. Oh, that's a quick refrag. Didn't expect that one, but Hutchie has the confidence to go in for the refrag, and it awards a 4 versus 4. Still an even footing for both of these teams, no one really having a substantial edge just yet. With 50 seconds, we're about to see a commitment here from Singularity. There is one problem. Weird. He's been stellar here in the B-bomb, so if he's going to continue on with his reign, his op shots, this could be deadly for Singularity. Looks like he's going to deploy the flashbang. Smoke grenade needs to come in a bit quicker here, Weird, and that's perfect. Now if they want to push on through, they need to go through the side, and oh, Fabi goes down. That's a problem. Weird does fire off once, sees a couple more guys. Now he needs the backup to come in here as quickly as it can. It will come in through the stairs, which is very nice. Weird expects the player. Oh, he lands it! And that's going to be Mustang Crew securing the victory. Fine shooting from Weird, and Hutchie comes in with a big plank.
Weird is just flexing right now, isn't he? Carrying his team through a previous buy round with a quad kill, and in this one, what a triple kill. You just can't knock it, can you? Holds down the site there, and what otherwise most will consider potentially a lost site, because holding an angle like that with an AWP is very difficult. You definitely favor having a rifle there over the AWP, but he makes it stick, and credit to him. 2 crucial rounds now picked up by Weird on behalf of his team. and that gives Mustang the opportunity just to keep fighting. And at 11-14, we might have ourselves a game on our hands if it keeps going like this.
Ooh, Accelerate though. For the very first opening frag. Weird. He's not in position here. He's not a B-ball inside. It's Doja here. He's really gonna have to step up, but he can't really do much. The smoke grenades are blocking off his vision. He's just gonna have to allow the opponents to get that bomb down. And we can see, look at the chip damage as well. This Waka barely limping now on the server. Weird on just 67 points of health. Singularity though still dishing out damage, and there you get the plant bomb. Now this very difficult round. Some kills coming through. Trait frags aplenty, but it will be Singularity to come out on top as the dust settles. It is 15 for the Danes.
I love how much just sprays through the smoke and finds a kill. Eventually, he's traded right back through the own smoke because obviously his traces are let rip across the map, but his tactic there was just to hold down mouse 1 in the smoke. Not a bad way to trade, I suppose.
Not bad. Really not bad. Mustang crew. I like to see the fact that they've acquired more rounds here in Virgo than their previous outing. So far, getting the victory seems to be so close, yet so far. You might say it's only 4 rounds to achieve overtime, but once we are in overtime, it's a whole different ball game as well. Well, that's a good start, though. Weird finds the opening frag. Wake up! Oh, that's nice. Playing close by the smoke grenade is always a ballsy game, but the fact that someone from the Singularity side opts to make a similar play, that's perfect. Plays into the book of was Wake Up, but there's still trade frags going on. 3-on-3. And Doja remaining on the B-bomb side.
Do or die time now for Mustang crew. 3-on-3, they're arguably some of the most best performing players still standing on the CT side as they have one job: defend on B. 2 players there ready and waiting, but it's not quite working out. But Dozier, the man himself, I said I wanted some of that vintage action, and it gets it done.
Dozier, now that's what I did not expect. For him to find those kills, 1, 2, and 3. Dozier's got them all. That's going to allow Mustang crew to still remain relevant in this first map. They're not out of this one just yet here, folks. And that's the thing. Once we get to overtime, I mentioned it, it's going to be a whole different ball game. Wonder who's going to come out on top. Then, for now, we still have to see how regulation plays out. Singularity, back to investment. That's good to see. They have accumulated quite a lot of cash in the previous round, so they can still make the investment. If they end up losing this upcoming round, oh boy, they might have to go for Rico, and from that point onward, just 1 more gun round remaining. Very scary prospect for Singularity. Rather not think about it. Think about the present. See how can you come out on top here. Mertz, smoke grenade is a pretty bad one, so that's going to allow him just to sneak past through like it's nothing.
Accelerate is going to look for an entry here, perhaps towards the B side. That seems to be the aim of the game here. Is Mertz finds the Zaka as well. That starts to present opportunity here for Mustang. Going for the boost. Fabi spotting it. He's had a bad run of it recently, unfortunately, dropping quite early on a lot of these rounds with minimal success. So we'd like to see him be able to open up 1 or 2, and well, so far so good. Secures the trade frag on towards Queenix as the push will come through, but he's immediately put into an early grave. And that leads us here. 3-on-2. The B site completely under attack here. Hachi in the back lines waiting to see what he can do as he becomes the last man surviving. It's just not going to happen. Singularity right at the very end, just as it was beginning to get tight. They force it over the line. 16-12 will be map number 1 in this best of 3. Map number 2 is where we are going to be heading next after an incredible performance from Singularity. Struggling towards the end, but a great performance either way. 16-12, that's our first map. We'll see you for map 2 in just a few minutes time.
Going through the smoke walk. She's gonna go down. Watch it with the AWD.
Position, Earthshaker's moving in as well. Echo Slam connects on the 2. Back row tire down as well.
Red always wins the brawl. Or can we cast the curse in? Oh, there we go.
Lootbet.
It's amazing how much I love betting on esports. It's so cool. What's even better is when I can use Cash Out. Wait, you didn't know about Cash Out? Cash Out is when you can get your stake back even when your bet is going against you. Just one hit and your money is safe. So go to Lootbet to cash out now.
To say never is never the solution. I got a new life, I got a new life. I want you to give me back the spark of light that once held me up. Please just give it back. Please just give it back. I never knew I was the one that got so caught up in the things I've done. I want to be strong, I want to be strong. I want you to pick me up and take me home. I never wanna be alone. I never wanna be To say never is never the solution. I got a new life, I got a new life. I want you to give me back the spark of light that once held me up.
Going through the smoke walks. He's gonna go down. Watch it with the AWP.
Position Earthshaker's moving in as well. Echo Slam connects on to 2. Back row Pyre down as well.
Red always wins the brawl. Or can we cast the curse in? There we go.
Lootbet.
It's amazing how much I love betting on esports. It's so cool. What's even better is when I can use Cash Out. Wait, you didn't know about Cash Out? Cash Out is when you can get your stake back even when your bet is going against you. Just one hit and your money is safe. So go to Lootbet to cash out now.
Welcome back, folks, to map number 2 in this best of 3 series, the first of the day, as we continue our Friday vibes experience. Of course, it's a quality online Counterstrike, what's not to love? Singularity versus Mustang Crew, map numero 2, and we're here, of course, on Nuke, and taking you here through all the action, of course, is myself, Flakes, and the wonderful Danny. Danny, what are you thinking about Nuke? You thinking this is going to be quite spicy? Because I reckon it's going to get a little bit dicey for Mustang Crew.
That is what I agree with you, Flakes, because Mustang Crew, man, they've shown some resilience in Vertigo, not as much as on the first half, but the second half, really good stuff. But again, that just simply wasn't enough for them to get the W and get across the finishing line, so that's a bit of a shame. Here, the problem is, this is now Singularity's map pick. This is a map we've seen them play yesterday, which was somewhat of a good showing, but they did eventually lose it to the side of Team Secret. The fact is, this is a map that does require proper teamwork, and I can't really say that Mustang Crew have a lot of teamwork on their side. Yeah, they've got some of it sprinkled in. We saw glimpses of it on a map like Vertigo, but it's simply not going to be enough, I'd say, in this matchup. So what I'm expecting is a Singularity victory. That's probably going to be 2-0 for the best of 3.
I think that lines up with predictions from most at this point as we get ourselves ready to go with our first round here. Just a couple quick things to wrap up, I imagine, during the warm-up. See, knife round well and truly complete. It's just a matter of both teams being ready, and then we can get this one underway.
Yeah, and if you folks are ready, might as well head on over to loot.bet. You can obviously use the code LEAGUE to get up to €100 on your first deposit and even 100 free spin after you get yourself the wagering bonus. So of course, be sure to head on over to loot.bet, but not anymore, folks. You see the time? Time to jump back into the game. We can see that it is commencing. Mustang Crew here on the T side. Seen them play here time and time again, and Singularity here on the CT side. Now, the fact that I see 5 killers being bought up, I can only imagine one thing and one thing only. A straight up commitment on the A-bomb side. Maybe Mustang Crew will change things up and actually go towards ramp. There we go. Okay, that's the other destination that's very popular at a round like this. It's the ramp push. Top is right now looking for the players, so many of them to find. It is already being softened up, and considering he's the individual carrying the defuse kit, he's got to be careful. This will allow Mustang Crew to continue on with the bomb side push. No bomb plant just yet, because Singularity have come in with a very smooth rotation.
This is a rough round for Singularity now to make it work. I mean, such good positions for Mustang Crew here. It's going to get so hot and messy as they try and begin the retake, but not going to happen. Mustang just in such good positions, and the smartest thing for Mustang there is to not over-push on those fights. They take the map control, and then they focus on just holding it, getting the bomb plant down, and they don't get too overzealous. They don't push deep into secret. They don't push into door. They just hold their angles and get the job done, and that's what we need to see from them here if they're going to start to step up and really show off T-side nuke. So, a great start from them. Let's keep it going, but they're not going to be without contest here. Singularity, of course, money completely spent back into this. It's a scout. It's an MP9. It's definitely not a flawless buy, but it's something that Singularity gotta hope we had allowed to hold off this round and equalize things 1-1.
Oh, Greenix though chokes in the smoke grenade as quickly as he can because there are a lot of angry terrorists on the other side. Now what we do see at this point, that actually slows down the offensive quite a bit. I was thinking that Mustang crew, with the secret presence they have here, they're just gonna push on through the lower bomb side, get the bomb down, just get the W. But now, that definitely puts a spanner to the works. They can't really go on through a smoke grenade. That would be a very risky move, a ballsy move as well. You might even consider it a little bit stupid. So Mustang crew, they're not stupid. They're going to use their weaponry to their advantage. With AK-47s and Galils at the helm, they can use the long-range engagements to try and win the fights here on the outside area. Lucky for them, there's not a single player to try and stop them. So what they can do, this is a very common thing here on Nuke, begin wrapping around on the A-bomb side through heaven. Seems to be part of the Mustang crew game plan.
Loving the patience from this T-zone as well as they kind of begin to execute that game plan now. Pushing in from up and above. They are getting tagged at by Jabby with the Deagle, and he will get one for his troubles, but eventually put into an early grave here as the rifles begin to clean things up. Singularity losing their way into this round completely. It's just a door slam shut, in fact. Jabby just doing some great work here. Dozier making money as well. This is job done for Mustang crew. It will be 2-0.
Looking very likely at this point. The prophecy will come through because Singularity is celebrating. He's the only player alive. Oh, it's even questionable whether he can save the scout because, yeah, there's an angry Dozier just hungry and looking for kills, and he's gonna get his one. 2-0. That's the start here for Mustang crew. A very good start. I really like their wraparound there on the A-bomb side, and I'm a little bit perplexed onto why not a single player from Singularity was at least on the rafters, you know, or at least on heaven. None of them. Because the players from Mustang crew were able to easily take the high ground. They have such a powerful position, you know. They have the high ground. Their opponents are below them. They become easy picking. So I'd say that's maybe a bit of a mistake from the Singularity part, but there we go. Allow them to go 2-0 Mustang. And Singularity, pistols. What else in a round like this?
Main thing for Mustang now will be just to keep it clean. Don't take any unnecessary losses. Just make sure you get this one done nice and easy. It seems to be doing a pretty good job of that, in fact, actually. Only losing one player. Yeah, I've got two on the lower side of things. Hutchie and Lazeka both sub 30%, but I think all in all, this has been pretty clean so far. Just gotta make sure they don't lose Hutchie and Lazeka now, and then I think happy days.
Yeah, this is good right now. You know, we've seen Mustang crew in similar rounds before where they only survive with just one player. So the fact that even 4 could potentially stay alive, that's already a huge upgrade. The 2 players from Singularity lingering around here. They could get a killer too. Top is sure, he gets it. Why not? That's not a bad pickup for him. And Celebrate, will he be rewarded? No, this kill does not come through. That will be Mustang crew now picking up their 3rd, 3 players alive. All in all, a good round in their books.
This is a good start. I mean, I don't want to overcommit in the Mustang crew camp right now because Nuke is a hard map, but it's not a map you can just waltz into and just make work. We know that a player like Dozier has immense amounts of experience competing on it, and there's definitely going to be a structure in place here for this T side, but how tested is it? We don't know how often they've been scrimming this, how much practice they really have down, so this is going to be a case of only time will tell. But they're in the best possible place they could be right now. A 3-0 start. Heck, they got a pistol, right? That's already an improvement from the previous map as well, keep in mind. So, everything's going their way. This is a good opportunity to get an early view into just how tactile their T-side will be. And, take a glance at the map. They are starting to work their way towards outside, likely beginning to apply some pressure through Hearts. But so far, not so good. Mertz being taken down. Taking down Lazeka, should I say. As he's just playing this very defensive angle deep in towards spawn.
There's a lot of kills coming through.
Not
right
good.
now.
They're just losing every single duel right now. It's just every fight they take, it's one by one.
That's a very good assessment of the situation. Like, Mustang crew, 20 or so seconds ago, all 5 players alive, no problems whatsoever. Then we see them struggling and taking over outside presence. Mert's doing some fine work. The other players also chipping in. Well, I do remember when Singularity played against Team Secret, one of the big issues Singularity ended up facing was proper outside control. You know, when they were on the Secret side, they seemed to struggle at holding on to that area of the map. Here, though, very good. Very nice success. But Mustang crew, they're revving up their engines. They're hitting the A-bomb site. And what a successful hit it is. Singularity are not doing too good in the trade fragging department, not to mention they're down a man. There's another Molotov deployed in the heavens. And Mustang crew in a good position to get the bomb down. Celebrate. The way he's positioned right now tells me that he probably doesn't want to be a part of this one. Thought he might deploy the flashbang for his teammate, but at this point, it's a 2-on-3 retake on the ace. This is a fight not worth having, and he's gonna get punished as well. Celebrate. The only player that escapes the massacre by not being part of it will get to keep his AK-47 for the next day, the next encounter, if you will. Whereas for a team like Mustang Crew, props to them. I did not expect them to change up the pace so quickly.
It's exactly what they need to do, though, so my confidence hasn't dipped. They, yes, had a bit of a bad start losing that first major buy round, but what a great way to refine form again. 4-1, pushing Singularity back into a tighter spot where they have to start having tougher discussions like, do we force this? How do we want to approach this round? I mean, saving the AK, I think, definitely constitutes a force-up, which we can see they're now going for, but they're making Singularity work for this, which is important because, again, look at the black and white prediction of this series. 2-0 for Singularity. Good on Mustang Crew for making that a harder bet, and right now, looking like they may actually have some real fight left in them. But early days, it's only 4-1. Let's not get ahead of ourselves. Let's see how this plays out. We don't want to see a repeat of that first buy after all.
Yeah, that is true. I mean, Mustang Crew, we've seen them in positions where, yes, it looks like they're unstoppable. I remember yesterday, the Mirage game. They were looking so good and still faltered in the end. Whilst having a 13-4 lead, Mertz escapes the flames, and now he's gonna have to go back into the fire because Mustang Crew are pushing on the side, but somehow Singularity are getting the frags. Fabi will, of course, check in the to deter a player like Mertz. Dozia, a very important aim duel for him to take, and now the bomb needs to go down here. Mustang Crew, players that were looking towards the heavens. One is more than enough. And now Tom is waiting for the opportune time to strike. Now he will link up with his teammate. Ooh, this is very sneaky of Tom. He's going to try to move on through the blue hut, I would presume. And Mertz, the offer mini. What are the odds they expect him to come from that position? Dozia, ready and waiting. Gonna peek. And not gonna see the player. That grenade. Is it lethal? Oh, so close. No, not yet. Fabi and Dozia. Now it's all up to Fabi. 1v2. He needs to find those kills ASAP. But actually, both players, they don't really have the kits. They can't really go for this one, but they're still trying. And Fabi's gonna get one, and that's gonna be it. Singularity. Nice attempt on the retake, but they definitely take their sweet time. And I have to admit, there was also some other mistakes made on the A side defensive.
I feel like no one really told poor Tabiz there that wasn't happening. I think he thought that was a real potential for a victory there, but as his teammates swiftly realised, and as you aptly pointed out, no kit, no time.
Very true. Don't have the time, don't have the kit. You might as well just back away and save. And in that case, yeah, you know, Mertz, he retreats, he saves the AWP, but how come Tabiz lingers around there? It's a little bit perplexing.
Nice start, actually, for Singularity in this one, given that they only have that AWP in play. Thankfully, the normality seems to have restored itself as Mustang Crew begin to pick off the CT side piece by piece. 3-on-2, but just pistols in play now, so confidence, I'd say pretty high for the T side here. They find Queenix. That leaves just Yabby. We're looking at 6-1, and do you recall who actually won the knife round? I'm very curious on that, because if Mustang Crew took the knife and elected to start on T side, that's also an incredibly smart decision on their part, because I think CT could be a different story here.
And I got a story of my own. I remember back in the days of Nuke, but this was, we're talking 2014. Some teams, and at the time, Nuke was an incredibly CT-sided map. Some teams would deliberately start things off on the T side, you know, warm up on that side first, win as many rounds as they can, and then go to the CT side whilst being warmed up and still having, you know, some confidence that there's not a lot of pressure on their shoulders because you don't expect to perform too well on the T side of Nuke. So that's just an old tidbit that you've got to remember. For some of you younger fans, that's an easy pickup. Sees the feet a mile away, and all he has to do is pull the trigger and get that frag. That's a good start for Singularity. That, not so much. Tobis is out of the picture, and I believe he died towards ramp. That was a kill by Dozia. That is an opening that could help Mustang Crew to begin fight for some map control over towards the ramp area, and maybe eventually go down the lower side.
Dozia's doing a great job here of finding those opening picks. As you say, opening at ramp here is going to be crucial for Mustang, as it gives them so many more options now on where they can head. Naturally, the immediate one that we're all thinking about is this an opportunity for them to dive down on towards B? And obviously the quick answer is yes, but it also allows them to potentially set up for a wrap through A if they really wanted to get a little bit crazy. So, loving the flexibility they're giving themselves here. It seems like they are just going to be going for that straight execute on towards the B site, and I mean, look how easy this is looking for them now. The smokes are out, the utilities all there, they're clearing off radio and so on. Everything's pretty much in play for them. All they have to do now is hold on, as the Singularity retake will be coming in thick and fast.
There's a swift rotation. There is one problem that faced them in the previous round. Okay, Lazweka goes for the blind spray. Does go down eventually. This is good. The numbers are in favor of Singularity, but they have very little time to work with. They need to get on the bomb ASAP, and you gotta do it now. But it's not happening. 10 seconds, no one's on the bomb, and there's no way in the world Singularity can pull it off. Mustang Crew, this is incredible. I am absolutely amazed with the success they're finding here in Nuke. Not only are they leading in the game, but it is a 7-1 lead. They seem to be unstoppable. Singularity really struggling here on that CT side.
I wish I knew who actually won the knife round, because I would be really interested to see how Mustang ended up on that T side, because if I recall, they did actually elect to start here, and I think this is smart from them, because clearly they're just using this looser style to their advantage. They're only going into executes once they find 1 or 2 picks, and they're kind of working off those picks. But early on, they pretty much default out, see what comes their way. I mean, even look here, it's just a case of have one player hold for the aggressive push towards A and make sure those shenanigans go on there, and meanwhile have the rest of the team just slowly but surely take some map control towards outside, and the utility takes shape off the back of that, rather than just going immediately into an execute. They're just kind of playing fundamental Counterstrike, and it's really working out nicely for them here. CT side, I actually imagine, will be actually more complex for them, because it's really going to test the system that they have against an aggressive team like Singularity. So, looking like a blessing in disguise, perhaps. We'll have to see, but the thing to keep in mind is if Mustang keep on going, we're not going to see much of that second half at all. 7-1 right now. At least early success from the pistols here as they scalp Dozia, but it is just pistols, keep in mind. Not a huge amount they can really do here, providing Mustang just group up and continue to play together as they have done before. This should be an easy 8th.
Oh, but this positioning is just all over the place. The CTs are now exchanging places with the Ts, and as Mustang Crew begin to make their way into the bomb side, there could be some nasty surprises that they may not be ready for, or in fact they are. Lazweka eliminates the 2 biggest threats that could have come from Blue Hut, and that leaves the remaining Singularity players in quite a dilemma. Celery, I'd say his choice is obvious. Saving
It's just really smart. They played off together and used the map control they gained. So if you look at the last round as another example of when they had the opportunity to do a similar thing, it just comes down to, we have ramp, therefore we can push and start to really work our way through heaven. So they just covered off every major angle they could for that reverse A take. Obviously, Lazeka then comes in through heaven, and that means that Singularity, well, the one play they did on the site, he's completely annihilated. The other players, they're taking a gamble because they're on pistols, so they're down chilling over on B. And it's just smart, decisive play from Mustang. And again, it comes down to being a bit slow as well, which is an advantage for them here because they're thinking it through and they're not rushing into a player sat holding a tiny off angle with a P250 and getting one tap by these pistols. So I like this. This seems sensible. And it's working out very well for them.
And the great thing about Nuke as well is that you can change it up from time to time. You know, you can play it very slow in a sense by acquiring map control over towards the outside area, which Mustang Crew has been prone to doing more than a few times. They might seem to continue doing it so far because it's been successful. This is the weakest area right now for Singularity, and they're abusing it. But that is a nice crossfire set on Gabby and Celebrate from 2 different angles, eliminating the opponents. And this is looking good for Singularity. It might be their second. They've currently eliminated 4 terrorists in just the span of 5 or so seconds. Fabi, last man standing, knows the positioning of one of these CTs. Once he gets him, there's still 4 to go.
No idea why Mustang decided to shift it up into 6th gear there and go for the sprint play towards outside. I appreciate they want to get aggressive, but they've played this slow, elective default outside the last 2 rounds. If they're thinking that Singularity are not going to be there being aggressive towards outside, they have another thing coming, and that's exactly what we saw. Singularity were ready and waiting for that same default push. It just happened to play into their hands that Mustang now had decided to go super gung-ho and wrap in towards A through roof. They just got completely caught off guard. It was a hidden benefit for Singularity, if anything. So, the moral of the story for me is Mustang, just keep doing what you were doing, which is that slow, concise play. Just move together as a unit, take that early map control in that kind of paired system, and just play off those picks. No need to get super aggressive and try and force the issue towards things like the insider hut.
I think that's what they're doing right now, Flicks. You know, being very careful of their approach. They're not going to go for the straight up dive into midi and try to find the early engagements there. No. They're just very far back. You know, there's still a player at silo, just waiting for Singularity to maybe use their grenades first, and then they can finally move in. But I do like the fact that, you know, Mustang Crew has been successful at abusing this weaker point of the map for Singularity, and well, look at that. That's the opening kill there by Mertz. If there's one player we need to see step up, that's going to have to be him, the outside player. Well, Mustang Crew, they're showing some presence towards B ramp. There's one individual they've been able to spot so far, but that is it. 45 seconds, though. They're close by B ramp, but the great thing about it, it doesn't mean that the lower side has to be the final destination. Could begin to make your way up the heavens, up the ladder. Accelerate. Expect such a play to take place, and he guns down one. Couple players to find, and most importantly, with the bomb being dropped, this will force a rotation from Singularity, but they can still be punished. Look at this, one player, Fabi, gets the kill. Let's see if there's going to be any more. 20 seconds. This round, slowly but surely, it is falling apart.
This is just falling apart, perhaps a polite way to describe it. That was a complete crumbling of Mustang Crew's offensive there. And now they're starting to really fall. It's not just a few chunks here and there they're dropping off. It's a landslide of terrorist rounds here. Singularity are up to 3. Likely will find their 4th. Fair to say, this is looking like a CT side recovery and really opens up the second half now.
Singularity boys, they can still make it work. Thomas, yes, sees loads of players coming in. Instead of retreating, he actually still holds his ground, but now I see why. Yeah, his teammate Celebrate on the other side, and that is a nice, solid hold by Singularity. Yeah, 4 rounds, I wouldn't say that's enough here on the CD side of Nuke. And in their position, they can definitely acquire a few more and say they come out on top with 6 or so rounds. I'd call that a fair half. You know, nowadays, Nuke has become one of the more, it has become somewhat of a more T-sided affair, if I'm being very honest. You know, teams being very aggressive in their approach, or they can always change things up. I see Mustang crew do it from time to time. And speaking of changing things up, look at how quickly they're going down the vents. A straight up vent dive. 2 players successfully do so. The third man, oh no! They're being consumed by the flames. The Molotov was thrown down the vents. That is so smart. Singularity. They might have just done it. Bomb does go down eventually, but the positioning is there for Singularity. They're in a very good spot. Ugh. And yeah, Hachi, last man standing. There's the defuse coming in, and Singularity. This is good. These last couple of rounds, Flakes, they're looking stellar.
Seemingly no breaks on this train. I mean, as you said, the last couple of rounds, absolutely perfect from the CT side. We're starting to see folks like Mertz also. Really, actually, the whole CT side, I think every player really starting to find their way back into this one. Queenix as well, another good player who's really found some crucial picks. What's going to be important now, though, is even if this goes 10-5, we need to see what Singularity can be able to do on their T side. My fear is that Mustang are really going to struggle when they get into their CT, and that's going to mean that Singularity can plow right through.
Speaking of plowing through, this is what is going on here. Look at Singularity. They're just absolutely destroying the opponents. It's like they weren't even there. It was Waka. Can he step up to the playing field and put down a message, put down his foot? Well, he's going to do even better. Get a kill on one more player. I don't know. This is turning out to be quite a dissatisfying end to the Mustang crew half, you know, because they were looking so good. They looked unstoppable, and now they're faltering. Slowly but surely they are. That's now going to be another round in the books of Singularity and Mustang crew. I mean, 8 is nothing to sneeze at, but considering they were at one point, correct me if I'm wrong, Flakes, 7-1, I'd like to say.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
Yeah, 7-1, I believe, was the scoreline, and this is just a bit dissatisfying, if I'm being honest.
It was looking like it was going to be a one-sided affair, and the Mustang had really found something that worked, but Singularity, they broke the chain, and Mustang could not repair from there. It's been a disaster since then. I mean, even in this round here, it's 1 by 1 running to their deaths through doorway. I mean, that's just, you hate to see it. Singularity making it look easy, making mincemeat of the CT side. They bagged themselves a 7-8 halftime scoreline as they get ready to roll into our second half. And we'll have to find out, do Singularity have both the brains and the brawn to carry this one forward to a 2-0 victory and their chance of $50,000 in the Lootbet Season 6 Championship.
Well, now, 6 rounds in a row. That is quite the impressive run. So yeah, apparently it was an 8-1 scoreline at one point. And I gotta admit this, you know, Singularity, they picked up those 6 rounds in a row at the very end of the first half, which means that momentum is on their side. You know, they're gonna be feeling comfortable after, you know, pulling off a bit of a comeback there at the end, and now they got a fresh start. They're here on the piston round. It's a new half, it's a new day, and it's a new opportunity to start stringing some rounds together. Mustang crew, let's see if they can actually hold up on the defensive side now, which I'll say this on Vertigo, their defensive did look a bit more better than what they proposed on the T side. So let's see. Maybe this is the side they've been waiting to play here all day long. There's one player here on the outside area. Ooh, he's got to be careful here, Tabiz, because now Singularity are moving into side. They're cleaning up all the angles and eliminating the players. That's perfect for Singularity. They've made their way into the bomb side. Objective 1 complete, but they still need to get the bomb down, and now there's players dropping dead from the Mustang. This is turning out to be like a very good pistol round, not being contested too much, and with that bomb being deployed, this almost solidifies the victory, as Fabi and Weird have something to say about it.
But there's basically really no time for them to do something here, unfortunately. They would have to basically go in and hit immediate one-taps, which, fair play to Werdick. He's doing good work right now and making it close, but surely not. They have 5 seconds. Oh, go on, Fabi. Oh, he's so close, but just not able to do it. He's grabbed the kit. No, there we go. Normality going to be a little bit better.
That is, well, they definitely had something to say about it here, Fabi and Weird. I mean, that was solid, you know, it was a nice attempt from their part. Gotta give props to where credit is due. Not too shabby there by the Mustang crew, but yes. Singularity now able to equalize the scoreline. That's what they were looking for. That first round victory is a nice little bonus. But as the bonus is quite nice. This is the second round where they should be a bit more careful, but they're going in, guns blazing down the vents. Straight up vent dive on the second round. That is such a ballsy move. You don't get to see a lot of teams attempt it, and Singularity sure have the cojones to do so. There's the Molotovs being thrown out on ramp, and this is turning out to be a very solid round. Bomb goes down. One player has been eliminated, though. It's important to note that Singularity are wasting so much time for which Mustang crew cannot waste. 25 seconds, and they're yet to get on the site.
I wasn't quite sure we were casting my my last Face It Games lobby. I mean, what should we do, guys? Oh, rush vent. Let's go. Very FPL style strategy here. Not much more to it. Just straight down vent, boys. Off we go. Let's get it done, and they do a great job of it. Straight onto the site, immediate plant, and as you say, Mustang immediately elects for they shouldn't play. They're looking for the exit kills, looking to maximize what they can bring in for the next few rounds here.
Now, let's see if they can maximize that potential. But now for Mustang crew, in their case, it's not that great. The previous round was a forced buy. Because of it here, and they must just heal this one out. Go on for the pistols. This is, you know, this is the type of round where you can do ballsy setup, ballsy play, maybe some kind of rush down outside, or Singularity is going to build for their tested formula that has worked out with them in the past. Though some of the players are being inflicted some damage, they're still very much alive, except for Mertz, who's gonna go down. As for the rest of the Singularity side, they're actually dropping dead. I'm quite surprised to note that the USBs are finding this amount of success, because Singularity, they were well equipped, they still are, but dropping even 2 players, I'd say that's a mistake.
Definitely allowing Mustang a way into this round, that's for sure. Especially when we look at the MAC-10 that's able to do a lot of damage when retaking the B site and so on, but as you can see, Mustang, it looks like they weren't even really considering going for it then, because they took a lot of time just kind of checking around through the back of halls before actually getting to the site. You would have thought they would have went out through door if they were going to really commit, because you're pushing with 6 seconds left. That's just not going to give you the time needed. So they lose all the weaponry, no big deal. They know they're coming into round 19 here on a full buy. That's what matters. This is the round they have to take home. They don't take this, you're looking in a bad way. A Singularity will plow forward into 11, well and truly into double digits at that point, and likely 12 as well.
I mean, the importance of this gun round cannot be stressed enough, because if you end up losing this one, you're then stuck in this very awkward limbo of the Counterstrike economy, where one round you're able to have a proper investment, the next one it's down to pistols, and look at this advancement, it is so good. A push that is again very successful from the Singularity side will not be contested by Mustang crew. Look, the players are so far out of position, they know this round is over. It's not even worth going for it, so the drill is simple. Go on for the save. Keep those weapons for the next round, because Singularity have successfully taken over bomb site control.
I like this from Mustang though. Rather than risking it all, they immediately again decide to save, which I feel like we've seen this a few times now in this half, but I'd rather see them save and go into more rounds with actual weaponry rather than relying on some slapdash pistols, maybe an SMG or two, to try and claw their way back in. At least they'll have a good core here of that AWP 2 rifles to make round 20 just that little bit more spicy. Because without that, it starts to get quite sketch.
Thing is, though, talked about that limbo. That is now the situation that the CTs are facing themselves in. What are they gonna do at this point? 3 weapons I can see, so they can, yeah, they're just gonna invest in this one. Okay, that's the great thing about the CD economy, though. If you're gonna consistently at least end up saving the free weapons, you can still get that purchase rolling, you know. But if it's only 2, yeah, it probably would have come down to a simple save. Weird on the AWP. I want to see this guy succeed because we saw how well he was playing on a map like Vertigo, but here on the CD side of it, you can't say he's found the most amount of impact, but we'll see. This op duel, very important. Mertz looking towards ramp, not going to see the player as of yet because Dozia is holding a very tight angle with the M4. He's got the advantage so far, but if there's going to be a lot more players barreling through, he might have to face some issues. Nope, no issues whatsoever. Dozia finds the first, and he has to retreat. This is the bread and butter of any ramp defender. Dozia gets the kill, chucks in the Molotovs to stop the further advancement, and now he waits.
Taker capitalizing on that as he finds Accelerate, but immediate trades edge this one back and forth. In the end, Singularity, they do come out on top, looking for the bomb, of course, as they then get the plant. If Mertz can at least keep Heaven secure for now, that should be job done, which it is. Great molly as well, that is huge. Dozia forced back, and I wonder if they heard the sound tick there. If they heard that little tick of the molly, that sound would be a dead giveaway that Dozia is coming in from behind, which will be crucial, especially with the fact that Fabi has just fallen. But no, they clearly did not. Dozia gets away with the frag on Mertz, catches him by surprise. Werdick, meanwhile, wins the 1v1 on the site, and it's jobs are good, and Mustang, they get themselves what feels like their first round in the bag on their CT side.
Yeah, not only that, they've finally broken the streak because Singularity, by this point, they have won 10 rounds in a row. That is incredible. 10 rounds without being stopped at one point or another. Mustang crew finally break the streak. Calm down a little bit, but still the journey is yet ahead. So far, it has been somewhat of a bumpy road here for Mustang crew. See if they can finally get on the asphalt and cruise away with a victory, or it could actually still be Singularity coming out on top. These next few rounds matter oh so much for these two teams. The second half is coming to a close. It'll be incredible to see what they can perform here, and I do like this positioning here. Buy the red container. That is a very ballsy move to make, but this is the type of stuff you should be doing if you're a Mustang crew. You need to change things up somehow by positioning, by going for such a play, and Fabi, as the smoke grenades begin to dissipate, this is where he can begin to make a wraparound, but I don't think a single player from Singularity has given away a sound cue, so he's not really sure if there's anyone in secret. This is massive, but Hutchie finally spots him out, and now he knows what's going on.
Dozia waiting, but almost caught napping. B site for a plant. Hutchie at least securing the quick trade to even out the numbers. Werdick can come in from behind here. We could see something a little tasty, some classic AWP action, but he has to get a move on. There we go. Jobs are good and finds the biz. More to be done, though, especially towards door as Mertz comes swinging. Yabi comes knocking. Fabi finally pulls through, though, shutting them down. Leaving one man to do it all. Accelerate playing the clock here. He sees the push come through, finds the first, has no idea where the second player is, but Werdick only has one way to push him, and it's right into his crosshair. Not gonna happen. Accelerate comes out on top. It's another round for Singularity. They win it out just by a thread.
Oh, this is an incredibly well-played 1v1. Accelerate playing this one to perfection. Stellar movement, not giving away too much, but giving just a little glimpse on the last guy, and then swings out wide to secure the kill. Incredible stuff. Gotta give that credit to the player, and well, I hope this could be the opportunity for Mustang crew to finally build up some momentum. Does not seem to be the case. Weird has made the purchase of the AWP. Peculiar stuff, but I can also see his reasoning behind it. Is that he wants to go for these early engagements, find the opening picks and whatnot, but Weird has been having a bad game thus far, and for an Opper, that is really frustrating, because if you're having a bad game, chances are you're not going to be having the same level of confidence you should as an Opper, and that could really cost you. But that is a good start. Hutchie gets the opening kill, does not recover the weapon. Shame, Mertz he gets them both. That is incredible for Mertz. And for Singularity as well, keeping the man advantage is utmost important in this situation.
Not only is it a man advantage, but just a sheer firepower advantage too. You can still only have just Werdick with an AWP on his shoulders. Thankfully, he's got Kevlar as well to support him, so it's not all bad, but he's just a singular turret. Dozier much of the same, really, when it's just a Deagle. I don't imagine there's much say they'll have in this round. If anything, Dozier's probably looking for some scraps that he can carry forward into the next round, and well, that's not going to happen. His head's left rolling, Yabby knocking it right off his shoulders. Leaves just Werdick, one man, all alone, with one mission. Save that AWP.
Is it a mission impossible? It should be possible, especially with that kill coming through. But I can't really blame Singularity to try and go on for the hunt. That would be a very useful weapon to take away from Weird, and yep, Yabby's gonna go for it. Righty then, contemplating op or not to op. You shall go for the op. 13-9 right now. Boy, I'm getting the same flashbacks of what happened in the matchup Raj, where Mustang Crew played against Blue Jays. Mustang Crew looking very good, very solid. 13-4. Scoreline, they seem to be unstoppable, and they just couldn't pull through with a win. Here, Mustang Crew as well. 8-1 scoreline at one point. Looking oh so good on the T side of Nuke. Everything's going in their favor. Players confident, winning aim duels. Ever since then, it has been the Singularity you should know. Slowly but surely, they've been picking up one round after another. They're the ones that are confident. They're the ones that are feeling very good about themselves. But a 13-9 scoreline, can you really blame them? I'd say no.
Not a good start, is it? We're already losing Dozier. That's the brains gone. Leaving just 4 now on the Mustang side, as they have just been picked apart in the second half. Hutchie at least able to secure a pick to even things out, but just the positions that Singularity have been able to take here, the fact that Yabby has got himself up into heaven, this is going to be crucial for the wraparound play towards A. Not when your teammates are losing the duels to the top, though. Hutchie, on an absolute tear, has just found all 3 kills. One man, one hero. You just don't get better than that. Every single frag that comes his way, he finds, then flicks up towards heaven and finds that kill as well. Leaves just Celery all on his Larry to try and pull off a 1v3. 18 seconds on the clock. He'll give it a good go, but Hutchie being the absolute champion there with a quad kill for Mustang Crew.
That just came out of nowhere. I don't even know what to say. Oh, and this is also pretty fine comparison we have here between the two operas here, Mertz and Weird. I've been saying this about the matchup here, is that Weird is just not having the same amount of impact. Look at Mertz, 13 op kills compared to just the 4 of Weird. That's simply not good enough. Whether you're an opera on the C tier or the T side, that is not feasible. Well, with that being said, Singularity though, they've gone for somewhat of a purchase here, sure, but it's very scrappy. Like, you've got weapons ranging from the AWPs to the Galils to just Deagles and CZs. And there we go. That's the opening frag we're looking for if you're a Singularity fan. Mertz has found the first, and they can begin to move on in, but Hutchie, he's been playing so good so far, whips out the USP, does go down eventually. But again, this man seems to be the only line of defense right now for Mustang Crew. At least there's some other players stepping up. You got Doze, you got Bobby, but now you got Yabby. Now he's left in a 1v1 against the Skade himself. Bomb in the possession of Dozia. That's the one thing that's really working out for him. But the one edge that Yabi has is time. So much time, in fact, he can come from any position, and Dozia should be more than aware of the capabilities of Yabi.
Dozy has the utility though. He's got a Molotov, so he could drop one of these positions, at least buy himself some time. He's still got the flash and the frag grenade, so lots of opportunity here for Dozy to get creative too. Looks like he's made the choice to actually push back around and then get the flank ready from door, and that works out perfectly. That's pretty high IQ stuff. That means Yabi's clearing sight. No idea he's coming back from door.
Well, that's the problem whenever you're playing against a god. He is so much better than you. Dozia shows us why. Not to mention, memes aside, like, that is just a smart play from his part. You know, he has been in 1v1 situations for such a long time in his career because he has a lengthy career. So he's able to outsmart a youngster like Yabi, who I thought in that situation could even have the edge, depending on his positioning. But Dozia shows us why he still got it. And well, Singularity, they're swarming 5 right now. There's a few kills coming through. Not too shabby considering this is a simple eco. 2 players do go down for the Mustang crew, but considering it's only Lonesome Queenix remaining, this probably is the end of this round.
It really should be, and this round should also demonstrate why that 1v1 clutch is so valuable from Dozia, because it reset the Singularity economy. It gave them this extra round basically for free. Yes, they lost Fabi and Werdick, but we'll gloss over the Glock shenanigans and focus on the fact that that was a 2-for-1 job, all thanks to Dozia coming out on top with a 1v1 clutch. So, really high value round, showing his experience and expertise there. But he's got to do more now. He needs to lead his team here into at least 13 if they want to have a say in this, because we just haven't seen that stability from him so far in this series. We've had a couple of good rounds here or there, but for the most part it's been Mustang grab a round or so, then Singularity win the next 2 or 3, and if we keep going that way, this game's done. Need to see some of that consistency from Mustang where they can link these rounds together.
Mustang crew, they need to hold on. It's Hachi again on the A-bomb side. How is he able to find so much impact these last couple of rounds? It's absolutely absurd. Hachi again, a triple kill. This is probably his 3rd or 4th triple kill he's found on the A-bomb side. Singularity clearly continuing on with this push on this part of the map has not been working out. There is a different part of the map, also known as the B-bomb side. Maybe that's something Singularity might try to attempt the next few rounds, but they gotta do it fast because now we've reached a situation where Mustang crew have equalized the scoreline. Not only that, they're now in a position where they might even come out on top. Queenix, what is that? As runs up willy-nilly on the A-bomb side and just digs down one. Oh, that's good. That's another deke shot. Another kill for Singularity, but as we can see, impressive deagle shots aside, this round is definitely going in the hands of the Mustang crew.
Yeah, this will pretty much be done, which just goes back to the point of why it was so critical that Mustang started linking these together, as you can see the effect it's having on the Singularity economy, forcing them into these deagle-only style rounds. Hachi, though, he has been the champion of these rounds, right? I mean, this is the 2nd time now he single-handedly shut down Singularity on that A-push, which definitely, I think the simplistic avenue, or the simplistic point of discussion is that just go B. There's a lot more to it, though, I think. Yeah, but talking of more to it, does find himself at least Dozia to make this 1v2 a little bit more palpable, but I'm not exactly going to be screaming my head off with hope yet. You got so much to do, and this is just not the toolkit you want in this scenario, but we'll give it a good go. He's not looked below him, but with a shot missed, that will buy an opportunity. Unfortunately for him, Werdick is over in a hut, and that means he'll get double peaked. Not a huge amount you can do. Oh, there's some tasty shots with the deagle, though.
Yeah, absolutely. That is some fine shooting here from Singularity. It's a shame, though, that was not enough for them to pull through at the end. Oh well, maybe next time. Yeah, and Hachi as well. He's been playing incredibly well here on the second half, especially here when he is needed the most. Now let's see if someone else from Mustang Crew is able to step up as good as Hachi. Maybe that could lead him to an eventual victory here on Nuke, which you guys know what that means. That would put us on a third map. For Mustang Crew to do that, that would be pretty huge. Let's see if he can still pull it off. Hachi on the blue hut, very powerful position. This is also quite nice about him, is that he's constantly, changing up his spot, not playing in the same position over and over again. He's being quite the nuisance, changing it up, being behind the site, going on towards the vents, and now he's on blue hut. That's very good.
Can do here. He's been a champion so far. This time shut down. His role on A relinquished as Singularity come knocking. Fabi stepping into the spotlight does a good job of it, but his position is known to Biz. Then gets the headshot. That will seal the deal. Singularity back to 14, keeping it even Stevens, as this game is well and truly not done yet.
Oh my, Flake, look at this. This is horrible, Flakes. Like, this is Mustang Crew, one of the last rounds here, and they have barely any money in their possession. And they're actually going for the eco. That is something I did not expect to witness. They're actually going for a proper eco whilst the scoreline is breathing down their necks. That is incredible. Fabi, though. Oh! The one deagle shot gets 2 for the price of 1. If I ever seen the opening frag that's as impactful as it can be, thank you, Fabi. That is beautiful. Not sure if that can still win the round for Mustang Crew, but let's see if they can pull it off. Now Mustang Crew will feel the pressure. They know what's going on. Singularity are committing to be... Oh, Dozia finally pounces from his position. He gets himself 1. He gets himself all 3. Dozia really stepping up when it matters the most. This is just unbelievable. What a round it is. First of all, we got this from Fabi. Oh, gets them both. And then Dozia back aside. P250 in hand. Then switches out for the AK-47. That is...
He's just single-handedly given his team an opportunity to actually win this. And force the third map, rather than what potentially will now be an overtime slog. A second crucial play from him, as we said, him and Hachi have been absolute champions to this Mustang Crew team. Definitely we've seen value in the plays from Werdick, some crucial kills, but just looking at it from a clutch perspective, the Zipnik's approach, Dozia and Hachi, they have been the reason why Mustang Crew are able to continue fighting in this best of 3. They've got themselves here onto 15, right on the cusp of forcing a third map. Will we head to overtime instead? That is the question. Can they push this to map 3? 5 kills, 1 round. That's all they require. The B site beginning to come under pressure as Tabiz lurks in the shadows, just creeping around through vent, looking for any opportunity he might be able to find for himself here as Singularity then begin to group up. Looks like the A play might be more attractive for them, and well, we've talked about the man of the hour. Hachi is here, ready and waiting. Tabiz in vent looking to leap up as well. This could be well crafted, but they need a good pop flash for Hachi. But Queenix walks in from the side. Job done. The trades are plentiful. It's all looking good. The A-side defense has been annihilated. Werdick becomes the last man standing. He's smoked off. Mustang Crew will actually have to retake this, and they have limited tools to get that done. Bear in mind, Werdick on the orb, he's not the player you want in this scenario.
Oh no, that's the big problem right now. An op on the retake, 2 rifles, man disadvantage. This is incredibly difficult here for Mustang Crew, but because this is the last round, they will absolutely go for it. There's a couple kills. There's Dozia jumping in. Oh, Thomas goes down as well. They've got plenty of time on the defuse, and you know what that means, folks. Mustang Crew win their map. Nuke goes in their favor, 16-14, and that is going to put us on a 3rd win. Wow, that is an unexpected way to end it.
I can't believe Dozier makes that stick. Another crucial triple kill in the final few moments there. Connecting for both those kills in the retake. You can't make that up. He is an absolute legend. Fair play to him. He forces Maverick.
Going through the smoke walks. He's gonna go down. Walks in with the AWP.
Position, Earthshaker's moving in as well. Echo Slam connects onto 2. Back row tire down as well.
Red always wins the brawl. Or can we cast the curse in? There we go.
Lootbet.
It's amazing how much I love betting on esports. It's so cool. What's even better is when I can use Cash Out. Wait, you didn't know about Cash Out? Cash Out is when you can get your stake back even when your bet is going against you. Just one hit and your money is safe. So go to Lootbet to cash out now.
smoke. Watch this. Gonna go down. Watch this with the AWP.
Position, Earthshaker's moving in as well. Echo Slam connects on the 2. Back row tire down as well.
Movement always wins the brawl. Or can we cast the curse in? There we go.
Lootbet.
It's amazing how much I love betting on esports. It's so cool. What's even better is when I can use Cash Out. Wait, you didn't know about Cash Out? Cash Out is when you can get your stake back even when your bet is going against you. Just one hit and your money is safe. So go to Lootbet to cash out now.
Welcome back, folks, to our third and final map of the day. It's going to be, of course, the best of 3 with Mustang Crew and Singularity. The stay-at-home squad, if you're joining us, thank you for doing your bit and staying with us as we get through our third map here, of course. If you are doing your bit, you are part of that stay-at-home squad, then do head on over to Lootbet, enter the coupon code, make a bet, and we'll match that. We'll put that in as a donation, of course, to the COVID-19... I want to call it the Self-Relief Fund, but I don't remember the exact name. But all the details can be found in the description below. Do get involved and help us. Help the guys with everything they need. Obviously, it's an awesome initiative set up by the Lootbet team, so very excited to get up with that one. Of course, there are a variety of other things available as well if you do want to get involved with some of that betting action. I believe, Danny, there's a code called League, which offers you, I want to say, €100 potentially in a free bet, as well as something like a bunch of spins. So lots of cool things you can get up to.
They're able to, if you enter the code, you get on your first deposit and free spins. That's pretty cool.
If you could spin to win, Danny, what would you be looking for?
If I get a spin, I'd spin peace and health for everyone in the world. That's what I'm looking for.
See, that's a pretty good spin. I was thinking more Marble Fade Doppler. Or,
that kind of spin.
You know, Karambit, but hey, peace, love, and happiness. I'm all for it. I'm all for it. So it's definitely a good spin. But nonetheless, let's focus on the action. Here we are, folks. We are getting ourselves ready to dive into our third map. It's going to be an absolute fiasco as we start off on Dust. Mustang Crew versus Singularity. We're into our knife round. This is a map, of course, where the knife round means absolutely nothing. What matters is just how aggressive you're willing to be on that T side. It looks like it will be, I would imagine, Singularity starting on that T side.
I think that's a very fair assessment. If you're Singularity, you win the knife round. So we'll just play the T side or the CT side. That works as well because just like you mentioned earlier, it just doesn't really matter in a map like this too. And nowadays, it has become pretty plain. Everyone knows the smokes, everyone knows the angles. To some extent, it has become sort of a more boring map here, Counterstrike. But let's see, let's hope that Singularity as well as Mustang Crew are able to give us one heck of a show to keep things running because, of course, ladies and gentlemen, the stakes are high at this one. The winner of this one can still continue on to fight the Loot.bet Season 6 qualifier, whereas the loser, on the other hand, well, they're not going to be able to participate any longer. So a lot riding on this last map, and let's see who is going to come out on top. Mustang Crew already investing in some utility here, and early engagements here towards middle. Ballsy stuff. Doesn't really do a lot of damage, but his buddy Thomas sure loses a heck of a ton.
Looks like long may well be the avenue of attack here for Singularity as they start to push and prod at Mertz. Not really much he can do here, though, unfortunately. He just decides to fall back to big box and kind of bide his time. The nice thing for Mustang Crew is that they're far from committed. They've definitely got a player in pit, which is not ideal, but they could also try and pull him back if they wanted to and hit towards B. But this looks like it might be a Dozier big brain play. He's trying to fake it towards A. As to then collapse out on B. Queen gets caught off guard. He gets taken down. Celerate tries to then defend from the door, but that site has been taken.
Oh, what a swift retake. They're going in. They're already in the sights. What is going on here? Weird is thinking, right, I've got loads of time to go in for the retake, and oh wow, all my teammates are dead. That is the pace there. I don't think even Mustang Crew even thought that's a possibility that it's going to be so quick, because the players from Mustang Crew, they plant the bomb. They're thinking, okay, let's just, set up in some post-plant positions. And before they could even properly set up, the players from Singularity just go in for the ballsy push. And would you look at that? They found every single kill. Props to them. That was immense.
That's definitely one way to describe it. I think they got caught with their pants down there. I don't think anyone had any idea what was coming, do they? That was they'll set up. They'll throw some nades through door. Oh, they'll put a player window. They'll push it a second. Nope, immediately just holding W, one by one, and they just absolutely annihilate every player that comes in their way. That is what you want to see when you're retaking a site. That's for sure. Oh, this is classic. This is vintage Dust 2 play. Hold W out B tunnels, shoot everyone in front of them, and it seems to be. I'm not sure if it's that strategy that's working or nading your teammate that works, but hey, it got them on the site, so bygones be bygones. This is looking like a good round here for Mustang Crew. That's of course completely smoked off, but may rally a 3 shots through the smoke. Love the fact that he swapped to the M4. Bit more valuable than saving that scout, I think is fair to say. Of course, very limited ability now for Singularity to do much here in round 3. Just pistols and whatnot. They will commit to the force up, so spending every cent they have, but the result is not a millionaire's mansion. It's more of a Ford Focus, as they're going to be going to this with a Deagle, a bit of Kevlar, but nothing more.
But even a Ford Focus at times get the job done. Singularity, we've seen what their Deagles are capable of, and there's one player already pushing up top mid. What are the odds he gets a kill? Oh, he gets it. Mertz. Who else? Perfect positioning for him. The team player didn't even know what hit him. He even has a Krieg by his side. They're not even looking towards him. They're easy targets here for Mertz. This is a shooting range here for Singularity. Now they're picking up all the frags, and Mustang Crew, they're yet to acquire a single kill. What is going on? Where can you set the record straight? I don't think he can. Mertz, okay. He's gonna retreat from that angle. Thought he's gonna win the aim duel. Apparently not. Yeah, this is a round that has quickly turned down south.
If this shows you anything, it's that supercars are overrated, because who needs a supercar in a mansion? That's all vanity. When really what you need is a trusty Ford Focus, because that gets the job done. That's what we've learned in this round. Pistols, clearly the tools to get success here. Singularity, somehow managing to win this quite comfortably, I think. Obviously, Wordic's still standing and has a little bit of time to work with, but, I mean, let's be honest. There isn't really much he can do. Got so many players to face. A bomb to go and get. It's just not going to happen. And, well, you see it there. Tubbies will take him down. 2-1, Singularity recovering at a pretty crucial point of the early piece of this first half.
Yeah, it's definitely quite the recovery. I'm absolutely amazed how much success Mertz found here. I mean, with such a kill, an important kill happening in top middle and also happening, well, in top mid, I think it was also really communicated that well to his teammates, because instantly, once a player dies in top mid, you gotta look towards that position. That's what you're expecting the player to repeat from, but no, it looks like the intel just didn't go through, and it allowed Mertz to find not only 3 kills in total. Very nice stuff from his part, and well, costly endeavor here for Mustang Crew. They don't have have enough money here, so they're the ones back on pistols. And so far, the MP9's got a nice little crossfire setup, but not a big fan of Thomas with the long-range engagement. You should probably use the MP9 where it is used best. Close-range encounters. That, you know, it seems to get the job done in that sense as well.
I wonder if there's a chance here for Mustang. If they get the 1 dig of a lifetime on Mertz, could be something, but... Well, not able to make something out of nothing today. Mertz is on fire. Tapping them down as they make their advances here. Every single player that comes his way, swiping left, swiping right, gets it done. 3-1.
It's really nice work being dealt there by Mertz, who, you know, fair enough. He's been the stand-up player, I'd say, in this best of 3 for the Danish side. He's really been performing very well. There's no denying it. So far, 3-1 scoreline is the good start here for Singularity, but the problem is there's still more rounds to be played out. Let's see though. The players from Mustang Crew, 4 individuals heading towards the B tunnels. Straight up commitment. Not gonna happen just yet, but Yabi goes in. He loses the aim duel against Dosia, who only had a measly Mac 10 to work with. That is quite a good kill, and this will actually prompt the players from Mustang Crew to move on in. That is such a powerful smoke. They need to push on through, and Cellrate is able to mop him up. This is so good. He even gets a creep for his troubles. And Mustang Crew, they try to go for this commitment. They get shut down by one man and his SMG.
Where do you go from here, though? That is the question, right? Because all these duels early on are no benefit to Mustang Crew in the long run. They just whittle down the numbers, which is obviously was good. 3-on-3, you would always favor that in an even scenario towards the T side, but they need some map control. They need an idea of really what their options are. It seems like they're going to start to move their way towards short, taking advantage of minimal presence from the CT side, but then look at the rotations from Quedix. He's starting to think about playing deeper into CT here, which is what he should be doing now. He wants to play that kind of mid-distance where he still has visibility if a mid to B is coming. He can see that utility, but he also has the footsteps from above him on short. As Mertz obviously takes the contact, left to right, good night. Mertz finds all 3 kills. This man with an M4 gets it done. Give him an AWP, the same thing. Beautiful play from him today. Another triple kill to seal the deal.
Beautiful, isn't it? That is the power of Mertz. You can even compare him to a player like Dosia and Mertz. I think he's even got an even higher KD at this point. I believe at one point it was even 5, so that is quite incredible. The M4, yeah, he gets the job done. The AWP as well. That's the one weapon you want to see in his hand often as possible, because he is a stellar operator here for the side of Singularity. And let's see if he can keep it up. This round, though, not too good from Mustang Crew. Look at them. Not the best equipment on their side. And Mertz wants out. Instantly begins to retreat, though he is being overwhelmed. Still finds one. That is incredible. The Molotov will consume some of the players. In fact, just the one. Von Fabi is going to go down as well. But overall, this is not looking good for Mustang Crew. They're being demolished, as it should be. But they're fighting here. Oh, they're fighting all right. Kills, important kills at that. Lazweka somehow picks up 3. Hutchie recovers an AWP, and that's suddenly a bomb plant.
That's huge.
Oh, that's so good. That's so huge. Flashbang comes in. Lazweka peeks in, and he ends the round without a single point of health.
What a well-timed flashbang. Just realizing he's flanking short, and then throwing that flash is just... that's perfect. Great nade there as well. Look at that. Bang on target. I think the problem here is the A-hold is actually really solid, and I don't think that round is even a discredit to the A-hold. I think what that round demonstrates is, guys, sometimes you don't need to stand out in the open and take every fight, which is what they did. They almost were overconfident there and just took every single duel available to them, and they didn't need to do that. So, unfortunate scenes, I think, for Singularity, but not a huge concern to their ability to hold A, at least so far, especially bear in mind, when they're doing the work with the Deagles. Already 2 in the bag. We do see the trade come through as Werdick looks for one of his own, but that's not going to happen. The CZ nearly wins out against Lazeka as well. If Fabi drops here, we're looking at a round for Singularity potentially, as he's getting swung left, right, and center. Queenix will take him down, but the trader, quick and easy for the T side. Yabby, okay, buddy. 29 HP is all that remains. The Deagle might actually have a chance here.
No way. What are the odds he can pull it off? And Weird is still with AWP. He should get the better of him. Yes, he does. That's going to be a victory here for Mustang Crew, but these pistols, my goodness. I'm getting flashbacks, Flakes. Flashbacks to yesterday's Inferno matchup where the pistols were just so good. And here, Mustang Crew able to maintain that 3rd round victory, but you gotta admit though, that was incredibly close considering A, their opponents were just on pistols, and B, they basically had no armor. They were, or at least were supposed to be, easy pickets. That though changes up the pace, moves out towards long very quickly. There's Flash, Yabi's gonna peek on in. 1, 2! Not the 3rd though. It's a shame that his teammate Queenix wasn't able to follow up. If so, that suddenly becomes a very, very good hold for Singularity. However, exchange of kills, the timer still remains 125. Weird is in the pit. That's a very prominent position to be in.
What a time to be alive. Pistols, such a great part of Counterstrike. They really do provide just true entertainment. I mean, it's wild, some of the stuff you see. But getting a bit of a disco inferno here towards Carl, though. Only getting caught out, and in fact will, as he misses his shot there for a 2nd time. Tabiz was having thoughts about swinging that. That's what that flash initially is for. You throw it just off the ledge to your right there, off that white wall, and then it allows you to peek the corner, but has 2nd thoughts, realizing probably not the best of ideas.
Two on 3. Mustang Crew finally begin to move on in. Celebrate now. This is a dangerous game he's playing right now, and he's not gonna get spotted out just yet. Another smoke to be deployed. Dosia, though, he's got an inkling that there has to be a player in the smoke, but he's also right, and Celebrate is gonna go down to Weird. Even though I thought that that was some prime positioning from Celebrate, he just isn't able to capitalize of it. That's a bit of a shame if I'm being honest, but there you go. It is what it is. A 4-4 scoreline. Mustang Crew keep it going. This is classic. Straight up push down mid. Yeah,
this is like vintage Counter-Strike, isn't it? You just creak your way through mid.
Okay, that round is finally over because that was pretty weird to see. You know, Fabi struggling a little bit with so many targets. Maybe I shouldn't blame him too much. He does eliminate 2 at least overall, considering again it's Lico. Couple kills coming through. Why not? That is a fair game. Well done here by Singularity. Now let's take a look what's gonna happen next when the big guns are pulled out. We got Singularity here on very good equipment, very good weaponry, and the same can be said for the Mustang Crew. Probably going for the early spam through the double doors, but not gonna find anything as of yet. Maybe Weird in his position can actually do it. That's a tag, not a kill, however, but a tag is better than nothing. But in return, there's a good grenade being chucked in, dealing quite a lot of damage on the players that are clumped up in, but not, in the tunnels.
I was curious if Werdick would be able to find an opportunity deep into B there with the orb, but early smoke naturally comes through, and he decides not to stick around instead. Looking for short instead. Queenix, meanwhile, will find Hutchie. No real other opportunities on the map, though. I mean, potentially Yabby towards long as I'm going to see Dozier begin to come back. I would imagine ready for the long-short split. That's actually going to be a pretty crucial duel here. Associate can win this out, he's going to open up a big part of this strategy, but unfortunately, AK doesn't connect. He whips out the sidearm. That's also a complete whiff, and now he's banking completely on his teammate's ability to take short control, and, well, they're going to be hit with utility after utility. Flashes galore. It becomes very tough for them. Mertz at least smoked off, but catches the cross, unable to connect the shot, but the Queenix here as well. You'd be hard-pressed to say this isn't a good situation for Singularity right now.
Definitely isn't, but Weird tries to make the best of a situation. Simply cannot make it work. Eventually, it is an even footing here between the two teams, a 5-5 scoreline. Well, no one really having an edge, but that's just the nature of a map like this too. You know, it can get very back and forth. And these two teams are proving us how and why that ends up being the case. So far, Mertz leading the scoreboard here, doing some fine shooting here for the side of Singularity and for the Mustang crew. Oh, okay, they still have somebody to work with. Not the most amount of it. Some players are struggling in terms of utility, but I like the speed here from Hutchie. Look at how quickly he has been able to take over control here towards short. That flashbang blinds his retinas, but no worries. He is still very much alive here alongside his teammates. So no long control coming out from Mustang crew this round, but with short presence coming in, that's something. That's something you always want to fight for in a map like this too.
Looks like we're going to see the same approach here from Mustang. The only difference is that they slightly changed up their numbers to be a little bit more biased towards long rather than short. Before it was a 4-1 split, 4 short, 1 long. Now it's going to be 3-2. If that actually works, then there will be a different story completely. Mertz again with the AWP. This guy is bringing straight value with the AWP this round. Then time and time again, another pick as well comes through towards long. And Azeko will win it out in the end. Fabi finding Mertz. And that does unlock the A site now. So Biz does become last man standing, at least in the short term, while he waits for the rotation. That he goes full balls to the wall. I'm making the white swing, but unfortunately the Big Daddy white swing does not quite work out. Immediately shut down. Around locked in. Mustang crew, they take the lead.
They very much do so. That is a nice shooting from their part yet again. That was a successful split on the A-bomb side, coming in from 2 positions, the most optimal way of doing it. It's a huge success, a resounding one, if you will. And Mustang crew, we keep on chugging along here at Dust 2. What we will see is, oh, that's a nice tag there, Weird. That's the player who tried to cross, and now we even see a couple more individuals coming through short. Mertz is down to his old shenanigans again. Maybe he can pluck one player here that's playing. He has found success in the past, but now in the present, he shall fail. Celery, scout, firing off some shots, but not really finding too much. Yeah, there we go. This is how it should be. Look at how cleanly Mustang crew are approaching this one. They're getting all the frags, not losing a single drop of blood. Okay, let's wake it. Loses a bit, but no worries. This round definitely will go in their favor. Yes, there we go. Mustang crew 7 for them. Not losing a single player is a huge bonus.
Hoping they can keep it going from here. What we've seen so far is it's kind of been ebb and flow towards both sides. 4-4, 5-5. This has been the first time, really, either side have been able to make a bit of a gap. Of course, Singularity will try to bridge it now, see if they can go 7-7 and ultimately win the half. But I'd actually like to see Mustang push forward here and look for that 10-5. What a great way to start that. First pick towards Calray, who's just... he's dancing, basically, in the flames. To Biz next in line to hit the deck as he tries to defend Car. Not going to happen. I wouldn't be shocked if Singularity just saves here, to be honest. You don't really want to do a 3-on-5 retake towards B.
No. You definitely don't, and can't really blame him at this point. Singularity just going to have to go in the pit, dug themselves a hole, and wait for this round to be over. Mustang crew, I mean, this is now a little bit scary because at least at the earlier stages of this first half, we saw some, back and forth action between the two teams, no one really having a substantial edge. But this is a situation in which Mustang crew has now won, I'd like to say, 5 rounds in a row, and now this is going to be their 8th round in total on the first half. Savior Singularity, this is nothing to sneeze at. Like, these guys are definitely feeling confident and well. They're just running into this one like lambs to a slaughter. That was a nice crossfire setup, not gonna lie there by the Singularity side. But overall, losing that much equipment, not that big of a deal for Mustang crew. They have loads of money remaining up until the end of the first half.
It's the perfect opportunity now to get that 10. It has to be said, Mustang win this out. That pretty much leaves Singularity on what will be a half buy at best, but not the best way to start it off if you are looking for that 10. As Mertz looks for that mid pick, and jobs are good, and he'll find that on Fabi.
He has sneak past through, but he's not going to sneak any further because of Mertz. Fine positioning as always from Mertz. Didn't expect anything else. Waka tries to give it a shot, and oh, okay. That's a little bit dissatisfying for Waka. Queenix just pops out of the smoke for one brief kill. Jumps back into safety. Dozy and Weird still very much alive. Both the players sticking together. Best possible scenario for them would be trying to somehow make them in the bomb side, but how on earth can he do so as a Yabby? That is such a bad to be holding here. Escapes the bullets. Also, can he escape with his life intact? Probably not. The players from Singularity, look at them. They're going in for the hunt. This could be an opportunity for Weird to rack up some easy kills. If you're Singularity, you probably should reconsider your options. You don't want to lose that much equipment in this round, and also to just one player.
Only real value there for Verdict, though, is to pad the stats, like you say, getting a couple of kills maybe. Won't change the outcome of the round, though. Singularity clawing their way back into this, denying Mustang with 10-5 at best. It's now a 9-6. But it all comes down to this, round 15, the final round in our first half. Mustang at least able to buy themselves in full back into this, as you mentioned. They did a pretty good job of managing their money through the tail end of this first half, so even dropping a few rounds here and there, they've always guaranteed themselves full utility on the AWP as well. Talking of utility, what a frag grenade, some great early damage done.
That was a grenade by his own teammate. Landing underneath Celery. A little bit dissatisfying, but shouldn't be too impactful. Ooh, hurts. Short. He's able to find the opening frag here on Doze. Yeah, even sees more. I cannot stress enough how well Mertz has been playing here for Singularity throughout this best of 3. Again, 2 off shots come in. He's able to do some fine work and puts his crew in a very winnable position. Can't say the same for Mustang crew, though. As the 3 players, they're alive, sure, but they need to face 5 CTs, and one of which stationed right there on the A bomb site, just ready and waiting for more of these terrorists to just appear in his crosshairs, so he could just pluck them. Oh wow, this is aggressive from Mertz. Let's see if it's gonna work out for him, or will this be detrimental? In fact, so far so good. 3rd kill is there. Oh, even a 4th one is there for Mertz. Finally a shutdown by Weird, but let's be real. Mertz has done it all. This round is coming to an end, ladies and gentlemen. Weird. Just an honor at this point. Nice shot. Elevator. Oh, okay, there we go. After some acrobatics are over, we do see a victorious Singularity.
Mertz is such an unpredictable force, isn't he, on short? And really across the whole T side there. He was so valuable, just dancing around with the AWP. Just doing this thing. 20-9. Not a bad performance, is it, in the first half? Not bad at all.
Yeah, absolutely. Like that is some stellar performance here from Mertz. There's no denying it.
Of course, curious to see now what that T-side impact will look like. 7-8, it could not get any closer. What a way to end a best of 3. Right down to the wire, just a round between the two teams. The approach here, well, it's basically a mixed bag of utility, isn't it? I mean, you've got a couple of P250s to support the smokes, but for the most part, 3 Kev, 2 U2 on Singularity, and the kit and armor on the Mustang crew side.
Bobby, we can see he's looking for the early engagements. That is some nice shooting. Combine that with Hutchie coming in, and well, that's a bit disjointed. Oh, what is going on? Mustang crew, not that long ago, they have the edge, but now it's a 1 versus 2. What in the world? Hutchie now confused of what just happened. Now he's left in a 1 versus 2. The bomb is yet to be planted, so I guess that's one good thing working out for Hutchie. He's gonna have to be very precise with the 1-taps to find them both, and he's already retreating. I'm guessing he just wants to change up his position instead of making his way through CT spawn. He probably wants to come in through short, maybe. Still contemplating of maybe a possible rotation from Singularity, but now he knows. Now he's more than aware that the bomb has been planted here at the A-bomb site, and it's time to move on in. He's checking for all the corners where the players can be, and he doesn't just, yep, there's first and his last, and he's gonna see Singularity. They pull it out of the hat, but I'm just a little bit confused of what happened there. I mean, early aggression from Mustang crew, loved it. That was awesome. 2 players get the frags. I was a little bit displeased when I saw Hutchie pushing out way too aggressively, and then out of nowhere, in a span of just a few seconds, Singularity just find 4 kills. How did that just happen?
Absolute madness is basically the shorthand for that, I think.
Oh my. Well, this game is delivering here. I was talking about it bringing a show, and it definitely is one. Simple eco round for Mustang crew. That's an opportunity for Singularity, though, to extend the scoreline even further by just 1 round, though. The bomb set, though, will the Singularity players anticipate it? No, they are moving in. They have loads of utility by their side, which I'm a little bit displeased with not using it. At least the flashbangs, because they can win this aim duel, sure. But it's definitely not as clean as it could be. Lezweka recovers the Mac 10 and wins another aim duel. Even better, he can actually get an AWP out of this one. But Lezweka, now he's got the AK. Oh, he gets the frag on 1. Lezweka is making this one work all right. Yabi now left in the 1 versus 1. He's got the Mac 10. He's got more HP, but Lezweka, you shouldn't count them out. Now he's got a very opportunity to win this one. It's very realistic that he can pull it off. And Yabi, of course, great thing for him is that he's got the Mac 10 and he's got the mobility to try and peek up that bomb and get the hell out of there. But as he begins to skedaddle away from short, this is where Lezweka is going to begin to move in. Does he get the timing? Oh, sees the player. Does not land a single bullet, which is a shame. Yabi's going to punch in those digits, and all he has to do is wait. Lezweka, he's the one who has to go in the offense. He has to find the kill. Meanwhile, Yabi can just play the waiting game, allow Lezweka to come to him, because the CT needs to use the bomb. Oh, swings out wide! That's perfect here for Lezweka. That's what he needed, and he's gonna win the round because of it. Lezweka, what a clutch from this man.
Talk about stepping up at a time of need. I mean, literally plays that to a T. You can see just looking back, capitalizes on the short pick. Very good early on pick for him, especially with just grabbing the early bomb control, and then obviously can push back, doing the 180 towards the site itself. Interesting time for a pause for Singularity. I mean, you're going into this one with nothing in the bank, so very little chance that you're going to really get any value out of this round, but I suppose just use this now to chat. You could finish that up in round 18, and then round 19 is really going to be go time for them, as that'll be the full buy with the AWP as well.
I think this is probably the first time I would get to see in general here in this best of three. I mean, this is where the stakes are high though, so I can kind of understand, but at the same time though, I wonder which one of the sides actually opted to go for this time out enough to have this sort of discussion. Well, either way, we can finally continue on with the matchup here. We do see a force buy by Mertz. The other players also going for the investment here, but it's all over the place because their money was not in the best situation either way. So they go for the force buy here. Worst case scenario, it's going to be an eco after this one is over. Full on eco, if you will. Let's see what Singularity can pull out here. We do see, guys making their way through short, and someone from Mustang Crew had a very good read. Chucks in the grenade, deals hefty damage on the players, and Singularity will begin to move on in. Weird. There are so many players he has to find right now, but credit is due. He finds the first one. Now he can wait for his teammates to get in better positions and begin commencing the retake. Singularity finally make their way into the site. It's time to get that bomb down, and Mertz has actually picked up a pretty impressive kill, so they still leave one guy in the pit. There's a lot of frags ongoing right now. Mertz coming huge with the second. And now Lasweka, man of the hour, gets another kill, but he does go down. Weird. Needs to go for the retake. Finds the first. Needs to find Topaz. Oh, and he gets it all right. Weird wins the clutch this time around. Before it was Lasweka, and now it's the opera for Mustang Crew. 10 rounds now being picked up on back-to-back clutches.
Mustang are just flying off of individual talent right now, aren't they? I mean, you've got players like Dozier stepping up, Werdick in that scenario there going huge. This is what's going to get them over the line here, just being able to pop off in those moments of need.
It's also got to be frustrating for Singularity.
It is, but then they have to look at those scenarios and go, how do we stop one player from being able to get a triple kill? How do we deny that, right? I mean, don't get me wrong, there's always the point of view, which is that he's just gone huge, he's had a god moment, but there's also the angle which is, hey, if you actually used a correct pop flash there, or you looked at that slightly differently, then the opportunity doesn't present itself. I mean, there's 101 ways you could overanalyze the round, but the point is, part of that does fall on Singularity to get on top of. Of course, this round one that you wipe away relatively quickly. It was just pistols on towards B. What's going to matter is what they can do in round 21. It's the same storyline here with the pistols in round 20, so we just look forward into the future to see if there's any fight left in this T side.
I hope there is, because it's not like this is the end of Singularity. They can still pull it through. We've seen them come back from desperate situations, like for example Nuke when they were down 8-1, able to equalize the scoreline at one point, and I'd like to say it was 13-9 or something of a similar nature. Still weren't able to close out Nuke, but they had a very nice try at doing it. Whereas here on a map like this too, the margins are even smaller in that sense. You know, you can definitely pull off a comeback here, even on the T side, while it's your 8-11. Maybe not in this round, though. This round is incredibly difficult to win because the weaponry is just not there, and Weird is firing it off. There we go. Now he's finally stepping up here, picking up those equal frags, getting all of them. Well, almost all of them. Fabi does steal away one, but overall, that's a clean round.
I love how, if you look at the VOD of this broadcast, right? You look at every time this graphic has come up, Mertz loves to be on here, doesn't he? He's been a key theme of this graphic, I feel like.
He loves the spot.
There was one earlier on where he took every single spot. I think it was the first map.
That's the thing as well, like, he's been playing good. He deserves the spotlight, and so does Dozier for the plays he's making. I need to go. Going in through the smoke. Gets the one. His teammates have left him, though. You can't really blame him. That is a very difficult position to be holding once the terrorists just simply have the better spawn to come out of Longhouse. So what can he do here, Mustang Crew? Just wait. Wait in their positions toward the A-bomb site, whereas one of the individuals from Mustang Crew is pushed up through the tunnels. He's getting so much valuable information right now in Singularity because all four are in long. They're about to get a very nasty surprise.
You love to see this. They have thought this one through. They know what's coming. Even with the utility there, there's just no risk here now for the CT side. They just have to land their shots. It's execution more than preparation at this point. That part is complete. Obviously 50 seconds, so a lot for Singularity to potentially change. Heck, they could throw this all out the window if they really wanted to and sprint towards B, but I think we all look at this and realize that's not going to happen. It will be the full execute on the A site. 40 seconds remain. These smokes are flying. The flashes are lined up. This is going to be a brawl that potentially decides the outcome of the series, as this will be crucial for Singularity's economy. They need to get this right as the push comes through. They get the first, Yabi with the second, but finally shut down by Werdick. Just unable to make his advance to the site as Hutchie gets a double of his own, but it will not be enough. Queenix trumps them as they manage to force their way onto the site. Don't even need to plant. They just get all of the kills.
That was some really good stuff from Singularity. I did not expect them to have the same amount of success, considering Mustang crew had such valuable information. There's no one on B tunnels. Where else will they go if not the A site? Obviously, great stuff here by Singularity.
Just because you know it's happening doesn't mean you'll be able to deal with it, right? It's like it's a terrible example, but you hear all the time about car accidents, right? Sometimes you know you're about to get yourself into a situation, but you're kind of watching it happen in slow mode. You just don't have the time to react. It's the same thing here. Knowing and executing, two very different tales, and Singularity highlighting that as, yes, they gave up all that information. Ideally, they don't want to allow a player to be meandering through lower tunnels. Typically, in a T-side default, you have players spread across the map. Still can be focused towards short and A long to prepare for the A split, but you always leave at least one player lower tunnels, specifically for that reason of stopping that aggression. This time they were highly focused on A, so they gave up the information, but heck, they still executed. It got a little hectic, don't get me wrong. I mean, it came down to effectively a one-on-one in the end, but all in all, they did a bloody good job to get on the site. And that's what Singularity need to do. They need to keep that going at this point, keep landing those shots. You look here, to Biz, he's just waltzed out on short, got a single kill. Those just try to extend out through long to catch the rotators, but in fact, he's found himself caught off guard. And it just crumbles from there. The ace, like, completely overrun. Mertz is going to be then holding mid. Not quite going to land his shot. He will get the second, but all the pieces are falling into play right now for Singularity. This is really lovely stuff.
Yeah, this is very good as well. Especially because in the positioning of Dozier, he's thinking, okay, there's one player that killed one of my teammates from short. I'm walking through long house. There's not a single soul here. This has to be a full-on commitment by Singularity through short. Problem is, that's not the case. Not the case whatsoever. And as Dozier comes out, he spots the player still in T-spawn. That means a death by Dozier and a death by his teammate leave the A bomb site very vulnerable to the Singularity attack. And well, there's really nothing Mustang crew could do at that point. Is hope to save their weapons. And if the two weapons are saved, I don't think we're going to see a purchase. It's just keeping the weapons as extra firepower for the next round. But I'm certain that what they're going to be doing is just a simple eco.
I wonder what you can do here, though, with the two weapons that were carried forward. Because, yes, it is just a simple eco, but that's the curveball, is can Lazeka find some picks with the AWP, get weapons into the hands of his teammates? Oh, Mertz. An absolute masterclass. Lines it up, waits for the smoke, takes the shot, perfect timing. As you can literally see, the perks of spectating. You could literally see him run into the crosshair. That is excellent timing. Now the CT's looking for the long push. I love that. Bait with the pistol. The AWP comes sliding on in. They won't run for the gun, but great way to get a pick at least. Creative from the CT side.
Right, as we go. Can you win the game duel against Mertz? Because that's going to be quite important. And, oh, he actually jumps off. That's a bit of a problem. He needs to get back on the site, and he's going to go down. That's a mistake. Lasweka, he should have remained on the site and then jumped down once the push actually comes in, because now that's an empty bomb site, and that's going to allow Singularity to win one more round at the very least. Well done by Singularity. A bit of a mistake by the Mustang crew, and I'm 100% sure they're more than aware of it.
That's really unfortunate. Just dropping off there is not the player. As you've mentioned, it's a rough situation. Mustang crew giving up now. Final few rounds of the lead that they have. To be fair to them, though, as we talked about right at the start, they were only going into this with an AWP and a rifle. And then a bunch of pistols. So we knock on it because it could have been a real opportunity. But
Yeah, exactly.
all things considered, that was a very cheap opportunity. It was 2 weapons they'd saved, plus a full eco. This is the real buy. If they repeat that same thing in this round, then there's a problem. But it could be worse. It could have been worse.
It could have been, really. But in all fairness, I mean, they had the chance, and that's the important bit. You always have a chance, even in a round where just the 2 rifles can play, even though it's smaller than, say, with a proper investment, but the chance is still there. And, well, look at the pace Celebrity is showing us here. I mean, Dozier has spotted out what's going on here towards the A bomb side. He's going to call in for the cavalry. Now the smoke grenades will be deployed to block out the vision of the CTs, and now the... Oh, Dozier! That's a sick shot on Queenix. Now Singularity will begin to make their way here, but look at the damage being dealt. They're losing a lot of HP, which is, again, basically against a partial investment here from the opponents. Mertz right now. Huge here with the op. Leaves it all to Lasweka and Dozier. And Lasweka, I mean, got a scout by his side, and I wanted to see maybe a jump shot attempt, but no. Dozier, 9 points of health. AK-47 at the ready, but of course, he needs to find these 2 players towards long, and both of them are very close by, and Mertz is gonna get him. How many kills does Mertz have at this? Like, he's been performing so well, hitting every single shot, it seems like. Even in the most difficult situations, when he's being pushed by like 3 players, he still somehow gets the one. That is such a good quality for an opper.
He's just been consistent today, isn't he? 28 to 15 as well. I mean, consistent's probably an unfair way to describe him at this point, because not only has he been performing well today, but high caliber too. I think at 1.86 KD.
That's nuts.
You know what's actually really interesting about Mertz is not only has he performed really well in the fragging department, he's also the best player on his team for utility usage as well.
Now, the 2 worlds don't really seem to go together when you think about it. More often than not, the best player is the one that is being set up by utility to succeed. And the fact that he can also dish out utility damage as well as be impactful in the sense by using the flashbangs and smoke grenades for his teammates, that is a very good quality for a player. I mean, you don't get to see it too often from the best players in the server.
It's definitely the sort of play that we like to see, though. We have seen some nasty frag grenades over the last few days, actually, though. I recall yesterday one nade doing 350 damage across 4 players.
There was, yeah. There was a lot of big grenade plays. Ooh. Right, let's take a look at what's going on here, folks. Mertz now gets the tag on Lasweka. That's a good start for Singularity, but even better is how quickly they're making their way out along here. Fabi expecting someone to push on through the smoke, and he gets him. Oh, continues on with the spray. Deals extra damage at Queenix, but does go down in the process. Now Singularity, though, doesn't look like they want to overstay their welcome here in the pit. And look at Yabi. He is more than aware that the CTs might consider pushing through the tunnels, and that's why he's heading back towards T-spawn and making sure that if anyone decides to go in for the push, Yabi's in prime position to punish him. Okay, now he knows. Now he's more than aware. Oh, yes, gotta get the headshot. Perfect.
That is really smart. Very big brain stuff, to put it simply. Just guarantees that they not only get the free advantage, but also they're now aware that Mustang were playing as if they had that information towards A, and that changes things. pretty significantly for Singularity here. They do lose the pick, though, with Mertz being shut down by Werdick, who right now is opening up with confidence towards Long. I'm not sure I want to be the player that's having to push into him right now, that's for sure. He just keeps on going, finds 3 before finally being shut down. I have a feeling that might be too little too late, though. Looks like they're going to come in from the side. The bomb will go through, but an easy frag. Werdick is able to get away with so much there. He really is. Just the aggression to peek twice towards Long, then falls back to side. Gets a 3rd before finally being traded. I mean, typically you wouldn't see the repeat here. That second repeat is... You gotta have some confidence to do it.
Yeah. I absolutely agree with you, and that's the thing with Weird. He's playing stellar here on this map here on Dust too, because I remember even on Vertigo, pardon me, when he was on the CT side of Vertigo, that's when he was able to find a lot of impact. He was playing stellar there. On the B-bomb side, Dozy though. Oh, there's so many flashbangs. Celebrate. Wow, what is this, Mario? He thought he was just stepping on a Goomba, and he eliminates him, and a second player to boot. That is some fine shooting by Celebrate. He single-handedly opens up the A-bomb site, and now his teammates from short can also chime in. They're not gonna have to do any shooting though. All you gotta do is planting. Singularity, this is a perfect start to a round, and a perfect way to finish it, because it also has coming to an end. 13-13. Oh boy, this is getting close as it can be.
I like that. Creative way to get past the smoke, I suppose. Just to be sure that no one's pushed mid, they check every single corner here, checking tunnels as well. Making a whole lot of noise though, Singularity. I mean, those thundering footsteps are going to be a bit of a thing for them here. Every Mustang player, of course, just chilling on the B site. Maybe they'll find them. There's your answer. I wonder how long they get away with that. They were making so much noise in tunnels.
A lot of noise. This is nice. Celebrate jumps in the pit. Thinks, right, I'm here in the pit. Wait a minute. Why is the pit firing at me? Oh, hello there, Dosia.
I just like how they checked every angle after the fact as well. Like, that whole round was just, like, really diligent from Singularity, I think it's fair to say. It's nice to see that, because we haven't seen all of that from them as well. There's been a few scrappy rounds where it's been less about smart Counterstrike and more so about just bringing pure muscle to the table. So it's nice to see really able to start thinking about closing this one out. And economy is going to be a huge piece of this, bear in mind. That's why saving that weaponry is so critical.
That's the nature in general of when a game is coming to an end here at the second half. This is where teams have scrappy buys. So many kills are coming through, and they're all so impactful. Fabi goes out for the pit, but Dozi's got a nice angle to work with. It shame though that the Molotov is dispersing. It has dispersed at this point, so he's just gonna have to retreat. Let's save the P250. Whereas long control, yep, it's there for Singularity, and the important part is that the one player, in fact, that had an AK-47 is dead. You cannot retrieve the AK-47 here, Mustang crew, which will allow a team like Singularity to maybe make their way up on the A-bomb side. Look, they still have utility to deploy for the cross. They can very easily do so. It's just that they need to be very keen about those pistols, because they might push on through smokes. They might go for the engagements. And Thomas knows what's going on. There is no smoke for the cross, and it looks like it's not going to be necessary. It's the bullets that will do all the heavy lifting. And as the AK-47s find the kills, that will be 15 here for Singularity. A couple of rounds away from eventually securing victory.
Love the fact they didn't use the smokes there, actually. I feel like using the smokes would have been a mistake. When you're against these pistols, you don't want to give them the opportunities to run through the smokes, as you mentioned, because you're allowing them that chance to catch you by surprise. If you just throw the flashes and work your way in together as a unit, you can just take the jewels. I mean, an AK at range like that against a player on elbow, or even towards sort of like Gandalf and short, the AKs will win those duels practically every day of the week. Yes, there are a couple of times when the Deagles will go wild, but majority of the time, the AKs will win that fight. Talking of winning fights, Dozier, he wins it towards long. That's going to be rough for Singularity now. They just lost all long control. That forces them pretty much towards mid, and the only way they get A is short, which is going to be really risky for them, I feel. It locks off a huge chunk of the map. I wish I could draw on the map right now. Unfortunately, I can't, but long is such a big piece of the map that you want to own on that T side. Losing access to it completely, quite costly.
Well, it's that time of year again. Singularity going in for the push. Uchi playing as close as he can, close by the smoke, sees the player, drop it down, but that was all part of an elaborate ruse to allow Mertz to get that frag. It all works out as a very nice little sequence, and eventually the bomb will be planted. That's what Singularity was looking for. Thomas, though, has got to be quite careful here. He is not expecting the guy to be there in the pit. That flashbang is perfect, and Dozier can tap his way to victory. Mertz, he's been stellar so far, and he's going to have to step in a very huge way in order to win this one, but no. That's going to be a bullet to his face and a victory here for Mustang Crew. They got themselves to 14th as well, cutting this one very close between the two teams. 14 to 14, this is as close as it possibly can be.
It's kind of surprising that they were oblivious to Dozier being in long there, given that we just talked about how they'd lost long control.
Yeah, basically. As well, maybe they just weren't expecting that if someone had to peek out, they had to do it rather quickly, but that didn't come through, so the player was fully focusing towards CT spawn. The flash comes in, and yeah, for Dozier, that is just some timing. All he has to do is tap away onto a blind player, and does so successfully.
Tough time for a pause, just taking a moment there. Try and reflect on what's happened, and also then look forward about how you're going to get this one over the line. Fortunately, we don't get to see who called it, but I think valuable for both teams at this point. One thing's for sure. This is becoming quite the game of Counterstrike and quite the conclusion to a best of 3. Now, buy on buy, no real major difference on the weaponry in play here. Double AWP is a setup from Mustang Crew that we haven't often seen employed by the CT side, so that could be interesting. I don't know if it lends itself to the strategy, though, that Singularity have been bringing to the table, which is more often than not a lot of aggressive gunplay and executes onto the site, but what it does allow is this solo B play that we're seeing with just Werdick now chilling on B all on his own. Provides a bit more support towards A, which when we see these long, short, heavy takes, that extra man, definitely going to be helpful. We're actually going to see the same thing again. Singularity going to go for that same short take.
Yeah, they've been very negligent of the B-bomb, so they've completely forgotten about its existence. These last few rounds has been prominently just pushing on the A-bomb side time and time again. Was Wakas here now with the AWP. Let's see if he can hit his shots in time that matters most. Does Wake Up misses the first, but Dozier chimes in. There's Hutchie getting a kill with the AK-47. Mertz gets the kill on the flanker, and suddenly Singularity have got themselves a good chance to plant the bomb. There we go. It is down 3-on-3. Mustang Crew have 2 players coming in through long. The third man from CT spawn, not the best position. He needs his teammates from long to come in first. Only then he can begin to make his way. There we go. There's one player crossing successfully. Celebrate. Is he aware of someone crossing? Let's Wake Up losing HP, losing his life. And Hutchie going for the spray. Oh, he can't land it. It's just too difficult. And Mertz will pluck him from the skies. And that will be a victory for Singularity. They pull it off. A very tight, close affair here between the two squads. I mean, it was as close as it possibly can be. Some gymnastics displayed by Hutchie.
Shuffling the guns around now, trying to see if they can maybe make something out of this. I mean, the CT side money isn't exactly looking too pretty. Let's see, what have they landed on? UMP on Dozier. MP9 for Fabi. The remaining 3 will have either the AWP or the 2 rifles. It's not all bad, but definitely far from ideal.
Yeah, you're right about it. I mean, I like the fact that they've pulled out AWP. That's quite nice to see it, especially in the hands of Weird. But the other players, I mean, SMGs, not a lot of utility. No diffuse kit as well. If it comes down to a retake scenario, that sort of things do get tricky. Mertz, gotta pull the trigger. Let's go for it. No, flashbang through now. Weird goes in for the pre-aim and is successful at getting the first kill. That's very massive here. Thing is as well, now Singularity are more than aware of the Opera's positioning, so they might try to avoid him entirely, avoid him like the plague, and go towards a different position. Find some of these other players that probably not armed or as well equipped. A player like Weird.
I actually like Dozi's position here though, given it's just the UMP. You see, he actually gets aggressive, just bobbing and weaving. Makes it stick for the double kill. Dozier going for the crucial MVP play once again as Mertz will be forced into an early grave. Fabi to make it happen, as it is going to be OT. Dozier. This guy just steps up, specifically when his team need it, right? It's not even a case of, oh, we really need this round. It's always, hey, we're going to lose this game unless you go huge. And he does it time and time again. It's the reason we're even in this map right now is because of him.
Yeah, that's absolutely true because it looked like it's all going to go downhill for Mustang Crew on the very end of Nuke. No, we saw one player, Fabi, kicking off that one round with a very surprising deagle kill. And deagle kills, shall I say. He fired off the 1 bullet but got 2 for that 1 bullet. And then we saw Dozier just with the P250 picking up a couple kills, then recovering AK-47, getting 1 more. That was incredible. And now the veteran steps up yet again. Overtime it is, ladies and gentlemen. It will be Singularity versus Mustang Crew. And this being the overtime, deciding map, or shall I say deciding 2 halves, I have no idea who's going to come out on top here. That is so hard to say. I mean, props to Mertz, who's been playing incredibly well, but some of his teammates have been lagging behind a little bit, which is a bit of a shame if Singularity do want to reach that victory here. Finally put themselves on the next stage here of Loot.bet Season 6 qualifiers.
Try to contemplate how this actually unfolds. Some semblance of a prediction for you folks at home, but I just can't quite land the plane on where this ends up. This really could go either way. We've seen pros and cons to both teams. It's the structure of Singularity versus the freedom and the individual performance from Mustang Crew. That said, talking performance, can't discredit Mertz. 32-18. No. 30 great rounds Counterstrike, that's for sure.
Basically getting a kill every single round, which not a lot of players can achieve. Not to mention that Mertz, there were moments where he was getting, collaterals. That is some very, very fine work from his part. Now let's hope to see that his teammates can also chime in. And, I mean, in order to reach the victory now, either team must strive to reach golden number 19. Once 19 is achieved, they will come out victorious here in this best of 3, which is really turning out to be a very close affair, especially in these last 2 maps. I mean, the first one, can't really say it was too competitive. Singularity had a very good grip on the game from the very start, but in that second half, they began to falter a little bit, but they still were able to close it out. It wasn't that big of a deal. On Nuke, though, yeah, that was a lot closer between the 2 teams. Again, in the very second half, because the first one, that was when, what was it? Yeah, it was Mustang Crew winning the first half 8-2, in fact. Somehow it comes down to a 16-14 win for them. And now here, on a map like Dust 2, which is incredibly close as it possibly can be between these 2 squads. Let's see who's going to come out on top here.
I would like to see more from Dozier, though, just across the game. We mentioned that he's been stepping up in those clutch moments, but there are only a handful of them. I think 3 moments from memory where he's really stood out and had a incremental impact in terms of raw frags. Outside of that, he's very quiet, right? I mean, remove the last round from the equation and he's gone 10 to 23. From a raw fragging point of view, not the greatest. And obviously, we can appreciate he's the brain here, but would like to maybe see just a touch more from him if possible. We know he's capable of it too. That's the thing to remember.
Yeah, that's also the important part is that it's been finding impact. You know, even though that's not a lot of kills when you look at it. I mean, 13 kills, that's not a lot, Mr. Dozia, but those kills have been impactful. They have been very impactful here for the Mustang crew. Very happy of his contribution. Right now, folks, we're still waiting for some of the players to finally ready up here, and looks like we're good to go. The timer has begun to tick down. We can finally continue on with our matchup here. And for those who are tuning in, this is in fact the very last map of the best of 3 between Singularity and Mustang crew. And once this best of 3 is over, there's still one more best of 3 remaining. The winners matches of yesterday, as it will be Team Secret going against the Bulgarians of Blue Jays. So be sure to tune in for that matchup. But for now, let overtime commence. Mustang crew and Singularity, both of these teams have so much money at their disposal, so no wonder Mustang crew, no hesitation, double up setup from the get-go.
Let's add it again, another crucial opening pick. He will get immediately swung though, not quite what he's expecting as Lazeka next in line to be chased. He finds, is that 2 before he falls? Thankfully not quite, but dangerously close there to doing some real damage. The B-site completely overwhelmed now, straight through the smoke. Fabi will go, and straight to the grave. That leaves Dozier, last man standing. We've talked about impact. They do something here. 1 on 3. Pushing for the planter. Not going to happen. He'll be shut down. That'll be the first of OT going to Singularity.
Very swift first round, if I'm being honest. You know, sometimes when it's the first round of overtime, both playing very slow, especially on the T side. You know, the team's going to be slowing down. That's where they have utility. They're not forced to be making fast plays, but that's not the case with a team like Singularity. You know, early on from the get-go, going for the early engagement, they get the kill, and they just barrel their way onto the B-bomb site successfully as well. You know, that's the important part. They were successfully able to take over the B-bomb site like it was nothing. Now, Mert's on a different part of the map, and his teammates are walking around through short. Look at this. No one's really paying attention towards short. This could be disastrous here for Mustang crew, because look at this. Singularity already on the site. The digits are being punched, and Singularity will now have 40 seconds to win this round, and Mustang crew need to go in for the 5v5 retake.
Something tells me that 5v5 retake might not be as exciting for them as I think it might be for you and I. Well, they are going to give it a good go at least. They're cutting it very close though. Waiting to push right at the final second, but they'll get on the defuse, throwing the smokes down as well, but not going to happen. Cellrate lines him up with his teammate, gets the spray from short. Securing the round once again for Singularity, and I actually have to wonder why they went for that, to be honest. I think it was a good crack right towards the end. They got some of the early kills they needed, but I also would have potentially valued them just taking that one a bit more chill. But I suppose you got money in the bank, it's not a huge issue. If they were going to go for it though, at least get your foot down a little bit quicker. Wasted a good 5-6 seconds there, just pondering towards long.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, they should have hurried up with the retake, especially in that situation. 5 on 5, you can definitely move in a little bit. You know, pressure. A lot of pressure is mounting here for Mustang crew. They want it to be precise as they can be. Speaking of aggression, look at Hutchie. alone, no backup. Well, pardon me, he actually does have a backup there. Two of his teammates right now just clearing out the tunnels, and as we do see a push going on here towards long, those two individuals looking to make this swift rotation towards the A-bomb side. Weird though. Oh, he's gonna get that one. Molotov burning. Oh, he needs to retreat. Oh, he's gonna go down. The flames consume him. And now Singularity with those 2 kills, you're just gonna barrel your way onto the bomb side. What else? Pill eliminating one more player leaves it all up to Hutchie and Lozwinka. Rotation is here, they're ready. But can they eliminate all 4 players? That's the big question mark.
Feels like Singularity have just kicked it into a new gear here. The cracks of Mustang crew starting to show. Hutchie giving it a good fight, trying to go for something with flair, and he'll land it straight through the top of the smoke there on towards Accelerate, but so much more that he needs to do now. This 1-on-4 has got legs to it, but let's see. Takes the peek, and it's just catching him off with a slight off angle. Singularity, 18-15.
That's decisive. I mean, not losing a single round here this first half. Singularity will be very proud of themselves, very proud of what they've accomplished here. Might have struggled there, you know, in those latter stages, the very end here of regulation, but now in overtime, they come out guns blazing, they win the first 3 rounds, and now all they have to do is just win one. For them, that shouldn't be a difficult task, if I'm being honest. For Mustang crew, on the other hand, the T side, they've been playing it pretty often, but for me, they seem to be a team that prefers playing on the CD side. That's where they seem to find the majority of their success. So, well, I guess we'll just have to wait and see if Mustang crew can pull it off. Right now, Singularity got themselves a very, very winnable position.
Mustang straight towards long. Let's see what they can do. $16,000 of weaponry to work with, but the answer is absolutely nothing. It seems Lozwinka finally pulls out a pick, but it may well already be too little too late. Of course, the issue towards Pit, but it'll just be more trading from the CT side. The situation goes from bad to worse. Wordek becomes last man standing. It's all on his shoulders now. A 1v3 is what's being asked of him. How the hell do we even start this? He has no idea what is going on. He could be getting pushed from behind. He doesn't know about mid. I mean, he could go anywhere. That's a plus side, but he also has very limited information.
That's true. I mean, at this point, it's 1 versus 3. Like, how is he supposed to pull this one off? And the thing is, though, 2 of the players are relatively close by to one another. Weird.
They are giving him the one-on-one, though, which at least is the upside. If given that Accelerate's looking exclusively towards... Just as I say that, he turns back towards upper, but we should see Tabiz... If he loses this duel, that will guarantee the plan, and it makes it a 1-on-2, and again, it's those solo duels. But Tabiz is in such a good angle for this. We're going to chase him down, takes the peek, misses the shot. And there you have it. The deal is sealed. 19-15, Singularity. They take map number 3, and they take the best of 3.
Congratulations there for Singularity. And of course, folks, don't go anywhere because we're going to have a best of 3 upcoming relatively soon, as it will be Blue Jays against Secret. So guys, don't go anywhere, as we'll be right back with our second best of 3.
Going through the smoke walks. He's gonna go down. Walks in with the AW.
Position, Earthshaker's moving in as well. Echo Slam connects on to 2. Back row tire down as well.
Red always wins the brawl. Or can we cast the curse? Oh, there we go.
Lootbet.
It's amazing how much I love betting on esports. It's so cool. What's even better is when I can use Cash Out. Wait, you didn't know about Cash Out? Cash Out is when you can get your stake back even when your bet is going against you. Just one hit and your money is safe. So go to Lootbet to cash out now.